Did you do the thing?
I did, yeah. It's done.
Oh shit.
Today's the 7th, man. Did you know that?
Yeah, man. Yesterday was my 1 year at work.
Nice.
Yeah.
1 year.
1 year.
Do you love it?
Yeah, it's work. Boom and boom.
There we go.
Uh-huh.
That looks good.
Yo, what's up, Divian?
Mr. Divian. Good to have you, man.
He was already here.
Yo, he's here already.
Gotta fix my hat. I mean, this onesie's comfy, okay?
I mean, I'm not saying it's not. It looks nice.
It's the pants thing that gets me.
Oh,
It's
is it kind of?
It's built. No, it's built-in pants. It's like forces me to wear pants.
Gotcha. It's not like, you know, giving you a little bit of a too much comfort or support at the bottom there, or is that not it?
Oh no, I mean, there's all kinds of. Oh, don't get me started. It's just the whole pants thing.
Gotcha. The whole pants thing.
And the fact that I have to wear socks because it's so fucking cold in here. I don't wear socks.
Still, it's still pretty cold where you are.
Fuck yeah. So
Okay.
it rained all night and froze and everything else.
It froze. Is it so like? But like it didn't snow.
No.
It's too early for these shenanigans. You know, shit, man. I mean, welcome in, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
All right, so I think I may have done everything correctly. I think.
I got the tweet out.
Mr. Divian with a retweet. Thank you, sir.
No, he tweeted it.
Oh, he did a new tweet. Oh,
yeah,
that's even better.
He did a new tweet.
That's the retweet. I'm still stuck on what's going on screen.
What's going on screen, golly? It's sharks with lasers. Duh.
You know what that sound is, right?
Coffee.
You know, I had to take 2 naps.
Did you?
2 of them.
Shit, man.
One of them was last night before work, and another one was this morning after work.
See, I had to call in. I had things going on. I saw.
You didn't even go to work?
No, I didn't. That's why I didn't call you last night.
Why don't you tell us someone something? I was like, man, maybe he just doesn't want to talk to me because.
No, I had stuff going on, so I took last night to get that squared away, and then.
Yo, Zyron with the host. Thanks, man.
Then I caught up on some sleep. Woke up at like 3:30. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get up. And by 4:30, I was finally up.
Well, I got up at 8:20.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice, yeah. I didn't. Fat Man's gonna go away for a second. Boom! Bye, Fat Man.
No.
Bye.
Why?
Monster cat. Monster cat. That should do it. Sorry about that, guys. Spent a little bit of time getting ready today. Fat Man, did you trim your face?
Maybe.
You look beautiful. You look beautiful. I need to get just a little more. Yeah. Yeah. Guys, look at that. He trimmed it. Dude, it looks wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
He's in his jammies. That's right. He's in his Twitch onesie. We're gonna get him to like stand up and like dance around in it in a minute here.
Oh, is that right?
We fucking better.
Man.
Oh. Do you have any idea? You watched this
Share
shit.
your screen on Skype with me.
Oh, am I not doing that?
Fuck no.
Oh, dude. Share
Wow.
screens. This one. Start. Sorry, dude.
Wow.
My bad. There we go. Is that better?
My monitor's flipping out now, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how that happens, but it has happened. Stop. Quit, man. Oh, my God. All right.
For like an hour now. I mean, we go live at
9 o'clock?
9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
When is that, Fat Man?
9 o'clock.
9 a.m. Eastern?
Yeah, 9 a.m. Eastern.
When? Every
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Man.
You're right.
Every
Yeah.
Wednesday, duh.
Every Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern.
Well, duh.
You guys should make sure to come check us out every Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern.
9 a.m. Eastern. Okay. 8 a.m. Central. Like 7 Mountain and 6 Pacific, you know.
Wow. 3 p.m. GMT. Thank you, Zach. Oh, GMT plus 1. Sorry. GMT plus 1.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean... But, I mean, if you're not watching at 9 a.m. Eastern, then what are you doing with your life? I mean, really. Double Trouble, 9 a.m. Eastern.
Everybody who's here already, you know about it. You know. But if you're new, you've never been here before, or if you want to tell your friends, 9 a.m. Eastern, we're live every Wednesday.
9 a.m. 9. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Do you have little finger holes in that thing?
Yes, man.
Oh my God, that thing's awesome.
Tell me about it.
Whoa. Working is the answer to the what are you doing if you're not watching this. It's both. Bacon with a host.
Thank you for that, Mr. Bacon.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, man.
Needs Hypnotoad. No, that's copyrighted and
Yeah,
also
I mean,
not our thing.
This is our thing.
I mean, you guys are here already, so it's working.
Mm-hmm.
Already.
And make sure y'all remember, okay, that at 9 a.m. Eastern, Double Trouble goes live on Wednesday.
If you don't know that, now you do. And Soul Reaver, I know that you're at work, but you told me before that you're allowed to, like, you know, on the down low, squeeze in some Twitch time.
It's very comfy.
Does look comfy. It makes me want, like it's even got a pocket and...
Dude, it's got a pocket right
Yeah.
here.
There you
Okay,
go.
and then it has little pockets, you know, like pants too. Like,
Yeah, it has like pockets like on your... Oh my gosh.
No.
that is awesome.
I mean,
Back up a little bit, yeah. Look at this thing.
it's pretty amazing. Okay, like let's be honest here. It's amazing.
Yo, that is... that is even better than I thought it was. What time, Mike? 9 a.m. Eastern! Jeez. Don't give away your secrets. Oh, sorry. Soul Reaver does everything right at his work, and everyone loves him, and he's awesome. You thought it was a hoodie? No, dude. It's PJs. Oh, there you go. Dude, he put fats on there.
Oh.
You're such an asshole. What is wrong with you?
I'm an asshole, I know.
There's Fat Man's host.
Of
course, it's playing his entry music as well, so it kind of like stacked itself up. Sorry about that, guys. That may have been a little bit noisy. Thanks, Fat Man.
No problem.
Appreciate your host. What time zone? Eastern,
Eastern.
man. Eastern, man. Eastern. Eastern. Man.
9 a.m. Eastern.
Eastern. Fuck.
For fuck's sake, Mike.
For fuck's sake. Shit. Yo, there's Dave Depressant. Last night's town hall was off the chain. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And what day?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday. There you go.
Wednesday. So, if you guys just want a quick peek into the life of my good friend Soul Reaver, this is what he's looking at right now while he's at work.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Those are not our topics.
Is that a floppy disk, man?
Yeah, dude.
Whew.
Hell yeah.
Man.
I like it. I think it's pretty nice. Only a small change though. Oh, what's that?
3 monitors. At work?
Wow.
I mean, I have 4 monitors.
He is creating Skynet. So, I mean,
and I'm stopping Skynet, so I mean, bless you. Fuck. Yo, Charlie, fix the static, man. What the fuck? What's Charlie got on static? I mean, fuck, man. I feel like you're bigger than me. Why are you bigger than me? I mean, do you want me to unzip my onesie? Yeah, you did. Shut up, Dave. We're muted.
I sneezed and then I muted myself.
Wow.
You guys don't want to hear that sneeze though, trust me. It's enough to make you a little bit wet.
Would you say moist?
Moist. If you were close to me and I sneezed, 9 times out of 10 you're getting very moist.
Very, very moist.
That's just how it is. Mm-hmm. Dude, I can't get over that onesie. Like, I'm not even paying attention to chat right now. I'm just looking at how cool that onesie is.
I know. It's pretty comfy, honestly. Like,
wow.
It makes me want to just not take it off. Like, if I could wear it to work, I would.
Dude, you should wear it everywhere.
I know.
Are you gonna wear it at Guardian Con?
I will bring it. Okay, and I will.
You're gonna wear it to the con.
Wear it, but I don't know if I'm gonna wear it in that Florida heat. Okay, let's just be honest here.
Okay, yeah.
Probably not gonna be a thing. I might have to get another one to like cut the legs out and make it like a cut off, and cut it right below my knees.
You can just Google that, like Twitch onesie, and I'm sure to pop up. I got this from Amazon.
Be ready.
This one came from Amazon.
I paid like $54.
I mean, yeah. My hat was only like 18 or something, so
yeah.
That's why I went for the hat and not the onesie. Also, like Fat Man saying,
it's on Amazon.
Well, but there would just be no way for me to wear a onesie, even as a joke. Like if I was in here in a onesie, I would, like the pits would be sweaty and like the whole front of it, it'd be like that triangle of gross sweat,
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd still wear it, we would need to redneck it. You would need to like cut the arms out and like
I'd get another one, cut the arms out,
make it into like
right
no, like halfway up the thigh, like super romper style.
No.
Yeah. It's Florida, bro. Like that's where where you want it to be.
Oh man, I can see myself doing that. Just cutting the sleeves out, go all romper on it.
That would be great. A Twitch onesie. Yeah. Will you stand up again for us, man?
Oh man. Do you want me to model for you?
Just don't fart. do a little spin. Come on.
Wait.
Yeah. I love it. Has anyone ever told you you remind them of that girl from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
What?
Violet Beauregard. She turns into a blueberry. You almost look like a blueberry.
Is that right?
Kinda, yeah. No butt flap. That's true. Like you have to get naked to.
I was upset about that.
You're gonna have to get naked to take a poo, man.
What I'll do is I'll just cut out a flap and put some buttons on it.
There you go. Make your own.
Yeah.
I got you. Now Tessa's gonna want one. What up, Fox? How's it going? Holy shit, man! That's a fucking iceberg. Violet, you're turning violet. Violet, exactly. If you join your fire team, he'll look like a blueberry. That's true because he's not your friend.
Wow.
Yeah, that's true. He's not your friend. Real quick before we get going.
Real quick.
We got topics including the retweeter follow shits.
Yeah.
Those are awesome, right?
Yeah.
We're going to be discussing variety, which I think that's an important thing to talk about right now, guys. Service streams. Excuse me. That's not something that we see a lot of now. We're going to talk about why.
I've seen a lot of people, I've seen someone actually just post that they were getting out of doing grade routes.
Yeah, a lot of people have definitely done that. Love all these people. Hello, Pawns and Bright Lighters. Yeah, man. Hell yeah. That's the peeps. We're also going to talk about Facebook, G Fuel, and we're going to have an angry iceberg here at some point today. Never heard of service streams. If anyone says, yo, come to my stream and join the raffle so you can go flawless, or I help you through the raid, yeah, things like that. Nightfall, yeah. Those kinds of things. Service streams. Someone whose stream is all about helping you out with something specific. It used to be really, really big back in D1. Yes. Like, people were making, like, a lot of money doing their Trials of Osiris runs. Yeah.
Yeah, so, can you hold down the fort while I go tinkle?
Yeah, sure.
You didn't really give me much of a chance at the beginning, You said, oh, hey, Fats, I'm running behind.
You're the one who didn't, like... Okay, go. Just go. Just go. Fucking took the fucking day off of work and can't get shit on time. Jesus. Yeah, Zyron did Black Spindle runs. We would help people get their Touch of Malice. You would hear people talking about going ghost hunting or calcified fragments or like all that stuff. Like it used to be a major, I guess, a major value point for a lot of people's streams was helping other people with those in-game specific achievements. Someone would guarantee a flawless run or tower carries guarantee flawless. We would say we could get you to the reef, and we guarantee flawless for anyone who fights us. Anyone who we have to play, they're gonna win. Oh my gosh. Divian. That's disgusting. Guys, can we get some red chair hype? Sorry, orange chair hype in the chat for Fatman? Yo, thanks, man. You guys may or may not know this, but our process starts like this, okay? We have Charlie, who writes everything down and helps us kind of get everything organized. He's responsible for that. That's Charlie. But then we just kind of have a conversation. Yo, Hickabilly with a host. Thank you. Very cool of you. We have a conversation, and the things we talk about in our conversation, that's kind of, you know, goes back and forth. If we feel like it's something that, you know, other people are talking about. Yo, 16 Kunar. I hope you're serious. Thank you for the follow. Who's got those heart emotes? What's that? Oh, that's Zyron's emotes. Okay. Nice, dude. Digging it. Oh, there he is. He's back. We're still doing our glasses. I didn't.
Oh. I mean,
no. Okay. I like to be able to see.
I still had them on, so.
Emotes were approved yesterday, Zyron. They look nice, man. I'm digging it. But yeah, we just have conversations, and eventually, like, as the week progresses, we kind of put together what we think we should talk about on the next show. So it's kind of a cumulative thing. Like, for instance, that G Fuel thing that happened only a couple of days ago. But I think I would like to address that.
I mean, I've got my nice daily dose of lead.
There you go. Let's actually, I want to make this. Yo,
no,
that's Baron Von
not
Cool.
Footy. Okay, don't get me started. Okay. The only thing I'm upset about.
There's no feed. There's no feed on him.
No.
Bruh. What's up, Baron? How's it going, man?
How's it going, Baron?
So that's how we get our shit together. As far as finding out what topics we want to do, like a BLG news show, I mean, we're not focusing on BLG at all. Actually, we actually kind of make it a point not to push any kind of like gaming community while we're out here.
Baron.
Does it have a fanny flap? No, we already asked. We
already did I got up, did my little spin move, posed a little bit, you know.
There's a clip actually. If you're in the Double Trouble Discord, you'll be able to see that clip. Send it back, and he paid like $50-some for it. So, yeah.
Well, you know.
I think if you like it, you don't worry about what other people say, fat man.
Exactly.
You don't even worry about them.
Exactly.
Okay. You're doing all right, pal. It's the closest I get to anything. I get you, man. I get you. Working, busyness, all that shit, that happens.
This is the, sneaking fats news show, okay?
Yeah, we try to make it all about us.
Like, we love talking about ourselves so much. We was like, you know what? We're making a show.
Let's go somewhere where we can just talk about ourselves. And then that turned into like these really fun conversations. I don't think Baron thinks it's worth the 50.
Yeah, a lot of people don't.
Well, if you're a fat man and you wanna support your favorite live streaming platform, Twitch onesie is the way to go. I went for the cheap $18 hat. I
mean, I bought the nice jacket,
That's true. I have seen your jacket, yeah.
And then I had to order another one. It's supposed to be.
Guys, is the mix okay? Are you hearing everything all right? I just want to make sure we got that
good? Going. Do we need to keep talking like right now?
Does Fat Man need to be a little bit louder?
Check,
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of quiet. I think, at least he is on my monitor there. Sounds good. If it makes you happy, still won't pay 50 for non-footies. I mean, and that's where you draw the line. I completely understand that. Like, you have to have the footies.
I really wish it was footies. Okay, let's just get that out there.
I mean, you
and
could
I
get
also
like
thought it had a butt flap.
you could get like some like Twitch socks and kind of just wear Twitch socks with it.
Yeah, true. They have Twitch socks.
Yo, DC Denny with a host. Thank you, sir. How about you tell them how you called me at 8ish Monday morning telling me to quit my job and play Destiny 1 raids? I don't know if that's a true statement or not, sir. That's hearsay.
I call bullshit.
That didn't happen. That's allegedly someone called
fake
him.
news.
You sound purtier than a $2 whore.
Sounds good
Thank
to me.
you. Guys, look. Here's my volume. Let's smidge up some Fatman. There we go. Butt flaps are just vents for cold air to hit the starfish. I mean, I think it's also like a release valve for any built-up gas. Possibly. Mr. Divian, you had a question for us on the BLG Discord.
Did he?
Yeah, he posted it. Was it last night? I think it was last night.
Where at?
Just the general chat. And I feel like posting it there is a good idea. There's a lot of like experienced people there, but next time you have a stream question, man, like try and direct it here or in the pond or something, because you'll probably get a lot more of a informed response, because not everyone in BLG are streamers. Not like the majority of them are just people who like to play games. So definitely a great question, and I feel like a lot of people have that kind of like going on.
Mm-hmm.
What do I do now? Where do I go from here? So when we get to the Q&A, man, like please step up and say something to us, and we'll be able to kind of, if nothing else, at least help you see things in a different way. Because I feel like for most people, they say, oh, my stream is not like Dr. Disrespect, so I'm not successful. And I think that one of the main things to keep in mind is if you have 5 people, 3 people, 1 person in your stream, it's already a success. You're already successful. People are already there.
Yep.
You could be sitting all by yourself, playing all by yourself anyways, but you have someone there.
It's a lot worse than
but
having those 2 or 3 people there, I mean, helps out a shit ton.
Yeah, and that's kind of how you start looking at it differently. There's definitely some things like I said, I would love to have a conversation about it and just get a chance to actually talk to you. So whenever we reach that Q&A, we're gonna pop you in there, as long as you're willing. Right now, though, I think the most important, the most, where's it at? The most important thing to talk about is the Twitch, the Twitter retweeters.
Yeah.
The Twitter retweeters. People, I don't know. Twitter is one of those places where it's like you're out there in a giant sea of everyone else. Like everyone's out there. And you want to find ways to kind of make yourself more visible. But I think a lot of people are falling into the trap of thinking that if they go to one of those, they do hashtag Twitch retweet, or they do hashtag, like there's literally hundreds of these accounts that you can like tag and they'll retweet your tweet.
The retweets, yeah.
The retweeters. Divian, that's what I'm talking about, man. Like if you can't make it on the show, then definitely get at me one-on-one. Abs-fucking-lutely. But yeah, when I first started, I did some Twitch retweeters. Yeah. The reason why I stopped is because, number one, it didn't do a goddamn thing. It never, I never once heard someone say, "Yo, Twitch retweeter retweeted you, and I'm here to say hello."
Yeah, it was like, it really didn't help at all. And also, back then, man, we only had 140 characters.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Steve SQ, that's different.
Up.
That's completely different. That's not what we're talking about. You are personified as a community identity, and you use that community identity to support your community. That's exactly what that was. You're actually going to be one of the examples of doing it the right way that we were going to talk about. The best way, I guess, now that Steve just outed it. Jeez, Steve, you couldn't be patient.
Wow,
you couldn't be patient. God. The best way to like get your tweets retweeted, number one, is to be on stream and ask the people who are there in stream to say, hey, would you guys mind going and giving our tweet a like? Would you guys mind go finding and retweeting the tweet for the show today? Like, that would be fantastic. It really helps.
Also, guys, we have a tweet out if you want to go retweet the tweet on the tweeters.
That's exactly right. You can go out there and you can retweet our tweet, and that helps us because it makes us organically have a larger reach. You just don't want to do it to where it's like, I don't know. To me, those like 4 lines of nothing but at hashtag at, like, no one reads that. No one cares.
No.
It to me, it just looks a little bit desperate. It looks like I've seen people who will do like at Gathalion.
Yeah. He's not gonna
like I can see where it's easy to fall into the idea that doing that way is the right way, and it's totally not the right way to do that. If you want to reach out and like tag someone specifically in your tweet, then you need to be having a natural, organic type of conversation. Like if you sit there and you're like, retweeting someone's tweet, that's totally fine. If you see Broman or mine or anyone else's like tweets, then retweet them. But if you're actually making your own tweet, you're saying, hey, I'm going live now, at Professor Broman, at King Gathalion, at Dr. Lupo on Twitch, at blah blah blah, you're not reaching anything. And Mr. Divian, I'm the same way. I only at the clan and at the pond.
Yep.
Because I know that those are real people and that those people are part of my community. Now, a little trick that I would like to do is, if you're playing a game, hashtag it.
Yeah.
Hashtag that game.
I've added them before, like.
Yeah, or even go to the game page and follow that account so you can at them. That's I think that's important. You should have a couple of hashtags, and if you're talking to someone specifically, like I'll do at Yurfatman or at Bacon or at Hicker or at Mr. Divian or at. I mean, like you can do that as long as you actually know those people and they're part of your community and it makes sense. It looks natural. Otherwise, it just looks like you're just fishing. And on a place like Twitter where there's literally millions and millions of people on there, you're
on that list of people.
You're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And if the bigger broadcasters, if the bigger broadcasters get tagged by someone who they have no idea who they are, they're just gonna get blocked. They're just gonna get muted. Most of them even have it turned off to where they're not even gonna see it.
Yeah.
Like if you're friends with someone that is relevant to the tweet you're making, then say something to them.
Like if I'm playing with Sneak, I'll add Sneak in my tweet or something.
Exactly. Seen a lot of devs retweet, and that's like you.
Go ahead.
No, you do the talk now. You make noise mouth.
No, about the whole adding the devs, like at the game that you're playing. Sometimes, like I did that one time on Fallout, and Fallout actually retweeted it.
There you go. I've added the Worms Armageddon people, the Worms Battleground people, or maybe I was added in it, and it was Bacon's tweet, but they responded. They're like a smaller game developer, and that's how you network. That's part of it. Like you have to genuinely make an effort to talk to these people like they're real people. And if you're just putting in just generic hashtags and using those Twitch retweeters, not going to do you anymore.
Cue my entrance thing.
Perfect. Welcome in, Killa.
What's up,
Add a
Killa?
link to their channel. Yeah, and it is very easy to use Twitter the right way. I would say that more than anything else, and it's a common theme running through the whole getting started on Twitch, and then how to move forward and progress on Twitch is like you have to legitimately make friends with people. That is the main path for everything. So you have to legitimately go out and make friends with people. And I know that sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes it's difficult because you're either introverted or you're socially awkward or whatever. A lot of people are attracted to this type of medium with those types of personality traits, and there's nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. But you do have to challenge yourself. You have to make yourself uncomfortable. You have to put yourself out there and make an effort in getting to know people.
Exactly.
You have to do it. You have to.
You've just got to.
You have to. And I mean, there's been days my stream schedule is kind of all over the place right now, but there's been days where I will cancel a stream, or I will schedule it to where I don't have a stream just so I can go watch other people stream. Mm-hmm. Being present on the platform, maybe you can't go live, but you can still be there and you can still network just by hanging out and saying hello. So there's a lot of different ways to use your Twitter or any other social media for that matter. There's a lot of ways to do that where it doesn't look sketchy. I see people with a paragraph of these ats and these retweets and all these pages, and it's it just kind of makes me cringe. That
does that work?
You can do better.
Yeah.
You could people are more apt to connect with you if you're an actual person, if you are a real human being. And I don't think that anywhere on Twitter that stuff shouldn't be necessary. Kill it with the host, thank you, sir.
Woo!
Awesome host, appreciate it.
So is the image that you got there, is it the thing that keeps moving and zooming it out, or are you doing it?
No, it's the GIF is doing that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You was throwing me off. I'm like, is he...
I got an iceberg. I thought that'd be pretty good,
Why?
Why? Because of that, right? Because of the angry icebergs. Yeah. He's gonna be here. We're gonna talk to angry iceberg today.
That don't look like an angry iceberg there, man.
I mean, it looks like an iceberg though.
I think there's more of a glacier.
The glacier's this stuff.
I don't know, man.
I don't know, man. Shut up. Just shut up already.
Totally judging you.
I'm having coffee. Can you hear it?
Yeah. I'm having lead.
Lead. That's also one of our topics. G fuel. Docile iceberg. Indifferent iceberg. That's my favorite. So there's also Facebook pages. You may have seen those. These people will go in and do a follow for follow.
Yeah.
You have to really ask yourself
auto host for auto host and all this stuff.
If you're looking at it from a broader perspective, you're what you're doing with that is you're trying to gain viewers, right? I mean, that's you want people to check out your stream. That's why people do that. But if the person who's checking out your stream is really only wanting you to check out their stream, and they don't have any real intention on checking yours out, and you know that you don't really have any intention on checking theirs out, it just seems like an easy way to get a follow.
Yeah.
But once again, it's empty. That's an empty follow. That's one of those things.
Kind of one of those onboarding deals they had going on there for a while on Twitch.
Yeah.
It was getting all these follows, but they were just empty follows.
Never saw them again. You got their name.
Mm-hmm.
But then you never saw them again.
Exactly.
So my suggestion as far as using your socials would be to be as genuine as you can. Only tag the relevant people in your tweet. Use a nice image or a GIF or something like that to kind of make your tweet stand out. But spend more time, making genuine communications and networking by making friends.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, good, because I said it.
Oh, trust me, I know.
Okay. What's our next topic?
Variety? Is that what's next?
Is it variety? That's a big one.
Here.
That's a big one there.
Oh man,
it is.
Did you see the general?
No.
Voice chat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to just dive right in there?
I mean, we can.
Go check and see. Charlie? Charlie, we need you.
I'll go find out. Don't worry. Charlie's asleep still. Fucking, we're firing Charlie.
Iceberg, thanks for the host, man. Yo, Guardian Outpost, thanks for the host, buddy.
Well, we're ready.
Let's do it.
Boom, there he is.
There he is, the man of the hour. What's up, buddy?
Yo, what's going on, boys?
Oh, goodness, that voice.
Oh, it's sexy. Chat just got super moist.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dude, guys, this is Angry Iceberg. Great streamer. Awesome dude. Lots of fun. Thank you for being on the show, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely. Fat Man and I saw your tweet that was like, I want to be on your podcast. And we were like, fuck yes, you do.
Yeah, man. Sometimes you have to do that, man. Here's the thing that I've learned over my time streaming and whatnot is that you can't really wait for people to come to you all the time. I like doing podcasts. I like talking to people and this kind of format. So
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
You
got to keep putting yourself out there.
Oh yeah. Sure.
There you go. There's the Angry Iceberg link in chat. If you guys aren't following him, what the fuck's wrong with you? And fix that right now. I just want to jump right into it, man. Like we both of us listened to your interview with Broman, the Ask Broman podcast.
Okay.
Dude, it was a really good one. I truly enjoy like listening to his stuff, but
Thanks,
having you on there, having someone that I can kind of relate to, really kind of sent that episode home. So that was
yeah,
cool.
it was a blast, and honestly, I think we could have covered a lot more than we ended up doing. I mean, unfortunately, time restraints and stuff like that. But so hopefully I'll get that opportunity again, and we can dive into some even more depth.
Yeah, really good. So we're gonna hit you with the usual stuff. Like, how did you get started on Twitch?
Basically, well, I really started watching Twitch on a regular basis back when just after House of Wolves released for Destiny. And it was because I was looking at, I wanted to see strategies for how to play Trial, because I'd play Trials with some buddies, and I was like, okay, I'd be working. I had a regular Saturday morning show on a radio station, and I would sit there and I'd have it on, and I'd just watch people, how they played, like the good players, and just see if I could learn anything from them. And so I could go home later that day and go play Trials with my buddies and hopefully do well. And I started watching this dude named Game Sager. So I watched him pretty much every day, and one of the things I liked about him at the time is that even when he wasn't doing well, he still had a pretty good attitude about it. He didn't really talk a whole lot of shit, and every once in a while, but people are human. But at any rate, so that's kind of where I started. I mean, I'd seen Twitch here and there before that, or some of the other streaming services I'd go on just to see if I liked a game, and didn't really spend a whole lot of time. But it was also about the same time that I had my computer died, and I ended up ordering a whole new computer.
Okay.
And I just sat there and thought, hell, I play games. I have the equipment for it because I used to do a lot of podcasts back in the day as well. So I had a lot of the audio equipment. The only thing I really needed was a capture card. And so I ordered the capture card, and eventually ordered a green screen, some of the little things, but I didn't spend a whole lot of money, less than $100.
Right, yeah.
So, well, the capture card was a little more, but at any rate, I was like, you know what? I'm playing video games, might as well throw it on, see what happens. I also wanted to get better at being more spontaneous and more of an improv type speaker for the radio, because I wanted to get better being an online personality. And so I was like, well, this would be a way to kind of help that. And I didn't expect it to go anywhere. I don't know if anybody really does, but
I mean, yeah,
like,
not
we'll see what
especially not in the beginning where you're just like, I want someone to show up to talk to me. And that's my goal for the first year is to have like at least one person to talk to me.
For sure. But yeah, I spent about a week kind of preparing, doing a lot of research, reading everything I could find on Reddit or any forums or even watching any YouTube videos, anything that I could find to kind of, guide my way. And I thought about my name, which I know you guys will be interested in that, so we can talk about that here in just a minute. Yeah. But, just really thinking about, everything before I got started. So
you took a step back and like calculated like what your best move was, and you kind of like took it slow that way.
Yeah, well, at least for that first week, just getting everything together, learning OBS and all these different things, get it all set up. At the time, I was in a clan, and it was a pretty big clan. I'm trying to Exile Gaming Community, I think was what it's called. Pretty big. I guess they have thousands of members or whatever. And so one of my angles early on was like, well, I'm gonna leverage this clan to be like, I was even talking to my clan leaders like, well, look, I'm going to use this stream to recruit and all that stuff. Well, that kind of ended really quickly because I, stopped kind of caring about clans. But I was like, well, I got all these people in this clan. It's like, if I could get a bunch of them to come watch me, then we'll, it'll be a good start. But none of them really ever did. Yeah. So but the thing when I was sitting there setting up for my name, at any rate, I was like, well, I got to think of a couple things. Number one, something that is marketable or something that you could create as
brand. Yeah.
And the other thing I wanted is something that was easy to remember. Yeah, something that was simple and easy to remember. And my nickname's always been Iceberg since I was, real little. In fact, on the radio, my radio name is Iceberg. So if you ever,
nice.
If you ever tune in whenever you tune into the radio, I'll be like, hey, it's Iceberg, and whatever. Every once in a while, I'll actually accidentally slip Angry Iceberg in there.
Oh.
I don't think anybody really cares or is listening, so it doesn't really matter. But I mean, even though you know that like a few thousand probably are at least. Any rate, so when I came up, with the full name, I was like, well. One thing that I get in person is people look at my face and they think that I look mad all the time, and it's just my relaxed face,
What do they call that?
Well, that resting bitch face. Yeah.
There you go. RBF.
And so I was like, well, let's head. I figured that I was expecting trolls. I was expecting trolls to make comments on me looking mad or me being fat or whatever. And so I was like, well, let's head off a little bit of that of the past by just like, okay, let's
just beat them to it.
Yeah. And so
I'm a fat bearded guy. Fuck you.
Why are you so mad? Because I'm angry. I'm Angry Iceberg. It's in the title. I mean, geez, can you read?
That's like I get people to come in and say, oh man, you're fat. Like, look at my name.
Yes, I am. Welcome.
So that's basically where it came from, Angry Iceberg. And I, in the beginning I already had, a thought for a logo or as far as a caricature anyway, where it was basically an iceberg with, tearing apart the Titanic and just looking mad. And so I got on Fiverr and commissioned somebody to create a logo for me. And so it's pretty cheap. And that's kind of what I ran with until first year, until Captain Twaz was like, yo, you need to change that.
Right.
I want to work with you. And I'm like, all right, I was curious. Let's see what Twaz can do. And so.
I want to backpedal just for a second here.
Sure.
Did you start streaming Destiny? Was that like your first?
Yes. Well, yeah, that was the game that I played. I mean, I played that every day, and that was the game I knew. And so that's the game that I played. The very first game, actually the very first time I ever went live, and this was before I even thought about doing it seriously, I went live on PlayStation with the PlayStation camera.
Ah, yes.
Streaming the Destiny beta.
Gotcha.
And so back then I really didn't know what Twitch really was. I didn't know anything about Twitch. Didn't really put any real thought into it. I heard about people, doing it and making money. I was like, well, shit, I could do that, man. Let's just, whatever.
That's easy. Video games.
Yeah.
All right.
I can play video games and and again, back then, I just didn't have the right attitude for it. I wasn't even trying really hard. I did it like one day, and I think maybe another day I might have played. I don't know if it was, I can't remember if it was back then. I did stream right after they released Oh shoot, what's the name of that game? I'm just completely blanking. The one with the cars and the soccer ball, freaking
Rocket League.
Rocket League. Yeah, when Rocket League first came out, they gave it away on PlayStation as a PlayStation Plus game for free. And so I streamed that, but I can't remember the timeline of that, whether that was, I think that was about the same time where I tried streaming that. But again, wasn't really something I took serious until, I told Destiny. And that time I was like, well, nobody's really doing, because again, I've been watching trials carries, for quite a while. I've been watching people do trials carries. I was like, well, nobody's really doing, or I wasn't seeing anybody do raid stuff or like PvP or PvE stuff. And so I was like, well, that's kind of the angle, because I definitely wasn't good enough. I've never been good enough to do trials carries. So that's kind of where I was like, well, I'm going to help people through, the raid and whatever. And that's kind of where it's.
The reason I asked is because Fatman and I both got our start streaming on Destiny, and so many of the people that we've talked to, in just our normal community as well as on the show, started on Destiny, and it's kind of a nice feeling. Like there's a real community there that, even now, like people have decided to push on to other games and do more of a variety. There's still kind of that commonality where like everyone kind of has the same home. That's really cool.
Well, you see that, basically the Destiny community was built from the top down, just from the guys at the top. You're talking about Gathalion and Broman and and everybody up there that really set the tone for the community, and it just kind of bled its way all the way down. And even now you're seeing a lot of people kind of gravitating towards the same games that those guys are playing as well. And it's, so there's definitely an influence,
they're big influencers, there.
So, and, and if without those guys really setting the tone, it's really hard to say what the community would have ended up like, or, how big Destiny could have, may have not been.
I think Tessa's right. Destiny, it was a big motivator for a lot of people. That's super cool. Like, if we'd have taken the time and like written down, like I think probably every single one of our guests so far have started with Destiny.
Yep. Steve-O, Bennett, all of them.
Oh yeah,
a lot of people. Yeah. So, you were kind of talking about your working in radio. Can you give us a little bit of a glimpse into that? I mean, is that something that's like been a constant for you?
Well, I started about 4 years, about 4.5, almost 5 years ago. I answered a request or an ad. Basically, they were playing an ad. It's like, you want to be on radio and we're looking for part-time. I'm like, I want to be on radio.
Hell yeah.
You work part-time. So I went out there and I filled out an application, and I got a call the next day. It turned out the guy that was in charge of hiring was somebody that I had worked with before and was on good terms with, and he knew what my voice was like, and I mean, he'd already told me this was even well before that. It's like, man, you belong on radio. So it was a real quick, real easy thing. I mean, it wasn't even like I interviewed. He just called me up, let's get you in here and get you hired. And I'm like, cool. And so basically for the next 3 years, I worked anywhere between 10 to 20 hours between either just operating the board for what we call remote broadcasts, or doing the remote broadcast, being live on the scene myself, broadcasting, or like I said, every Saturday I had my own Saturday show that I would do from 6 until noon, unless I just got lazy and didn't wake up until 8, and then I do it from like 8 till 11.
Right.
It was just kind of like I kind of made my own hours. It was one of those things where my boss was like, okay, you can have this shift, you can work. I mean, he wanted me to work from 6 till noon, but I just was kind of lazy with that. But and then Sundays I would go out and answer the phone for because we have three stations, 2 FM stations and an AM station, and one of the AM station has a local church broadcast, and I'd have to answer the phone and wait until they were done, and then hang up the phone and switch it back to a regular programming after that. So I'd do that. That was a pretty easy couple hours, because I just sit there and watch Twitch. So, yeah.
Well, I've got a question for you.
Sure.
Like, I know I've heard the story, and Sink's heard the story, but tell us a story about the floating head. But also, I know there for a moment that you went away with it, like you had a kick-ass setup, and then I seen you was back with it. I kind of want to know what made you go back also.
The floating head, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the floating head started out as just a Halloween thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was Halloween 2015. I had been thinking about it for a little while. Like, what am I going to do for Halloween stream? This is just shortly after I got started. I only started streaming for a few months at this point. And I was like, well, it's Halloween's on Saturday. Let's do something, you know, kind of fun for Halloween. You know, you got to have a costume on Halloween, especially if it's on a weekend, you know.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So I'm, you know, drinking and whatever. And so I was like, well, let's do a floating head thing. You know, I'll just get a shirt, like a green screen shirt or whatever. I actually had one made because I was too stupid just to realize I could go to Walmart and buy a
green shirt.
T-shirt. So I had this big freaking thing all made. You know, it was full length. It was flannel. It was basically made out of green screen material, but it wasn't. You know, it was more of a flannel type green screen material. It was real tight around the neck. I mean, it didn't feel tight, but it was just real form fitting. It was because I have family that do. You know, I have a family member that's a seamstress, and
okay,
so.
Cool.
You know, made it for me. And so that's what I kind of wore for the year. But I mean, at any rate, so yeah, I just did it that night, and it was a lot of fun. Again, if you go to my Twitter, it's the pinned tweet. You can see that very first.
The very first one.
Yeah, the very first screenshot of me doing the floating head.
Killer wants to know if that was hot. Was the flannel hot?
It was, well, yes and no. I mean, because I live in the north. You know, I live in North Dakota, and during the winter it was really nice because it kept me warm in the winter. During the summer, well, okay, so I changed over to regular T-shirt that following summer. So this was in October, and then I wore it all the way through up until like July. And so yeah, it was a little warm, but in my basement it stays pretty cool even during the summer. So it wasn't horrible. It wasn't the worst. And I have a little fan that I keep on, so it could have been worse, but in the winter it was really nice because it kept me warm.
Word.
So yeah, but yeah, so the next day, that was, you know, so November 1st, which was a Sunday, I got up and I was like, you know, I already got this green screen thing. It works really well. You don't really see anybody else doing it, and you're always kind of on the lookout for something that makes you stand out,
right?
And that was one of the things I always learned. And I was like, you know, nobody's really doing this. I haven't really seen anybody do it. You know, people have done it. I've come across other people. I've actually come across people that come into my chats like, this guy's copying you. And then I go back and look, and he was doing it like a year or two before me. I'm like, you know, he's not copying me. So I mean, like, I don't really care, you know. And people have asked me, he's like, you mind if I do this? And I don't care. You can do whatever you want.
I think I did it one time, but it's because I accidentally wore a green shirt. I didn't even.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that. It's like people are, you know, that's what I think is people copy. He's like, no, he's just wearing a green shirt. It's like whatever. So at any rate, you know, I basically, I was like, you know, let's go ahead and try this, see what happens, and see how people reacted. And people reacted really well, and it gained me the right attention. Basically, it was my way of getting people in the door.
Dude, that's how I was introduced to you. It was like, yo, go watch the floating head. I'm like, the floating head? Yeah. Are you serious?
So that was the whole idea, is just get people in the door and hopefully win them over with your personality and your entertainment. And that was kind of the goal to start. You know, that was how I kind of got noticed by a lot of people, including King Ithalian, who was my first like major raid. Now, I had been raided by, you know, other partner streamers before that. Not very many. Like Game Stager was actually the first partner streamer to ever raid me, and it's kind of a funny story because I totally did something you're not supposed to do, and I messaged him and asked him for a raid. But at the same time, I had been in, this was I'd been in his channel for months at this point, and he knew who I was, and it wasn't like I just came out swinging right away and be like, but this was like one of those things where I DM'd him and I was like, yo, man, I appreciate you. You know, I'm doing the streaming thing. If sometime you could see it in your heart to send me a raid, that'd be cool. If not, I still support you. And so
yeah, I mean, even though that's kind of like unspoken, don't do that. You still kind of did it the right way.
Yeah. So anyway, he was kind of the first like partner streamer to ever raid me. I kind of sent a similar message to Gathalion, but it wasn't like, hey, raid me. It was basically, I was watching a lot of his YouTube stuff. For, you know, like trying to learn about streaming. I just said, hey, yo, thanks for, what you're doing. Thanks for your YouTube stuff. Keep up the good work. I just want to, say thank you. I didn't say anything about, rating me or anything like that. But
right.
A little while after that, maybe 2 or 3 weeks after that, I was in his stream and I was just saying hi to everybody like I always did. And I wasn't really even talking to him because I was like, he's probably too busy to notice me anyway. And he's like, yo, Iceberg. Like, hey, he's like, so do you always do the floating head thing? I'm like, yeah. And that weekend, like 2 or 3 days after that, he sent a raid over with like at the very beginning of the raid, there was like 2,700 people in the chat because this is back when he still actually hosted you,
right?
Which doesn't really happen anymore. But it actually broke my stream. Well, back then that was before everybody got encoding. Well, pretty much and so what would happen was once you got to a certain percentage on, like, as far as viewers on Twitch, you like getting the top percentage for viewers on Twitch, you would get encoding if you weren't a partner streamer. Other than that, it was just a streamer. Yeah. And so what happened is back then, when the encoding kicked in, it would sometimes kick you offline. And so that's what happened with me. And I didn't realize, I didn't know. I was just freaking out. I was like, no.
I mean, that's funny because I got like my very first big raid was Jay Sniperton, and it completely shut my shit down. like just completely shut down. Yeah, I didn't realize that's what it was. I thought that my PC was just a piece of shit.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was either. I was just like, I just thought that maybe all these people, because I mean, when it first happened, like I said, there's certain moments you just remember like it was yesterday, and this is definitely one of them. Yeah. Where I was in there I was doing the Taken King or the King's Fall raid, and we were actually on the jumping puzzle, the very first ship's jumping puzzle, and somebody came in and just said like Goth raid. Oh, and I was like, and then another person said Goth raid. I'm like, what? I mean, it was just like a couple messages, like, you guys are full of shit, like whatever. Right. And then all of a sudden, just like a freaking avalanche of just freaking spam in my chat, and I'm like, what the hell? And so for the rest of that jumping puzzle, I didn't even look at my screen, and I somehow got through it, which was kind of crazy. But I mean, I remember looking back in the VOD, and you can see me, just my chat was above my screen. You could just see me like staring at the chat with my mouth wide open.
Yeah, yeah, dude. When those kind of things happen, you just gotta watch it happen.
Yeah. Like yep. And then my stream went down, and then I was like, shit. And then I came back on. I still had like, when it came back, it has like 700 or 800 in the stream for quite a while. And I had, well, actually I don't remember exactly how many I had, but I know that I got like over 700 follows within that first hour.
Wow.
I actually had to turn off my alerts because it was just constantly going off. And, it would take an hour just for alerts to get through, before they actually show up on screen, because like back then my alert was like 19 seconds or something stupid like that. So I just turned it off. But yeah. Anyway, so there's that.
Word. So I mentioned earlier that the Ask Broman podcast, number one, you did really well. I really enjoyed it. But on the podcast, you mentioned that one of your goals for this year was to have fun.
Yeah.
Maybe you could expand on that, as well as like let us know a couple of your other goals. You got any?
Well, I mean, I think that like it's really important as a streamer to be able to enjoy what you're doing. There's kind of a fine balance that I haven't really found yet, which is doing what you enjoy, as far as playing the games you enjoy, and being able to be entertaining, and then also treating it as a job at the same time, depending on what your goals are. And my goals have always been to be able to turn streaming in, and this is from the very first day, even though I didn't really believe it was going to happen, but from the very first day was, to try to get a partner and try to do this full time, not necessarily to get rich, but just, to be comfortable and be able to hang out at home and not have to work for somebody else, pay the bills, and I'd be happy with that. So that's kind of always been the goal from day one, and it continues to be. And back in April, I actually left my job. It was mainly due to some issues with my daycare, where I kind of lost my daycare. And so I had to stay home with my daughter, my youngest daughter. And I had a source of income. Stream was going relatively well then. I could pay my bills. I had a budget set up. I had some money saved up. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna try this for, I had budgeted out for about 6 months. And I was like, even if I didn't have any growth, during the 6 months, I'd be okay. I can pay my bills. And, if it gets close to the end of that 6 months and I haven't seen the growth that I need, which I didn't, I have a fallback plan, so I had everything kind of planned out.
Right on.
And so, but the problem was that I didn't, as far as I had the budget planned out, but I didn't really have my approach very well planned out. And I definitely see that now, and I definitely see ways I could have done that differently. But so this year it's been focusing on really getting the enjoyment, like I said, doing podcasts and doing things that I really enjoy doing that, make it fun for me, because that comes across to your viewers. If you're having fun, then other people are going to have fun.
Absolutely. So
I think
that's something that, like, people who say, like, oh, I'm going to start doing Twitch, like, they don't really realize that what you're doing is you're taking one of your favorite hobbies, which is gaming, and you're removing it from your hobbies, and you're like turning it into something more than that.
Sure.
And for a lot of people, playing a game is kind of like their way to relax, and it's kind of their way to just like let go and deal with shit or whatever. But if you turn that into like a small business or something that's more than just a hobby, then you kind of lose that enjoyment. At least I did. I know personally, like, it took me a couple of months to kind of get my head back, because I'd stopped enjoying playing games. It's just something that you kind of have to prepare for, and the whole having fun thing is where I kind of got back on track. Like, I just say, same as you, like, I wanted to be able to say, fuck it, whatever I want to play and however I want to play it, I'm just here to have fun, and I'm looking forward to, like, bringing that enjoyment to other people. So
yeah,
absolutely.
and that's exactly where it's at, is especially when you do have goals to try to grow what you're doing. It's important to understand how your community relates to you. And for me, despite my name being Angry Iceberg, people didn't like seeing me get mad. I mean, people have never really enjoyed watching me rage at a game and whatnot. I mean, I don't do it in a real funny way. I do it as, like, in a very, very angry way, very mad and kind of negative way. And so I had to one of the things I had to really take inventory of was those moments and those games that I would enjoy playing, like, for example, like a PUBG or, a competitive shooter, like even Destiny PvP, basically anything PvP. I'm such a competitive person that I really have to be careful when it comes to, competitive games, PvP games, because I tend to take things a little bit too personally, or especially where I live, I definitely suffer from some internet related disadvantages. And so, and sometimes it's really hard for me to separate that separate from that while I'm playing. And I've been getting better at it recently, and trying to just let things kind of go. But as my personality is that I'll let things kind of pile up until I can't really control it anymore. And then it'll, go to swing the other way. And I know that people don't want to see that. I mean, I've been told by, regulars that, that's not what people want to see. And so I have to really kind of step back. And that's why you don't see me playing a whole lot of PvP games a whole lot. There's one game that I'm going to be playing quite a bit. It's a relatively new BR. It's been in development for a while, but it's getting really close to early access, and that's called Islands of Nine. So I have a lot of fun with that, and I've been, like I said, but I've been really working toward shifting my attitude towards that super hyper competitive, or to just going out and having fun with some dudes and laughing and even getting to the point where the nice thing about Islands of Nine is it's this community is small enough right now that, generally speaking, you're going to be playing against the same people over and over again. So you get to know them. And so, somebody kills you, you recognize their name, and there's in-game chat, and you say, like, hey, nice shot, or just, little friendly ribbing, to kind of cut the ice a little bit.
Yeah, it kind of keeps that super salty competitiveness to a minimum.
Yeah.
So are we gonna play that game together? I mean, I might even not have it. I'll watch the stairs this time.
Uh-oh.
What's that?
I'll watch the stairs this time.
Oh, watch the stairs. Oh, you're talking about like PUBG?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, we played PUBG. Yeah, no, I mean, like, look.
But no, I got Islands of the Nine also.
Oh, Islands of the Nine. Yeah, man. I'm always down to play whatever. Like I said, I'm trying. It's one of those things where, like, PUBG. Again, I've kind of trying to get away from being that competitive nature of myself, where sometimes I find myself snapping at people when they don't really necessarily deserve it, or like, because people aren't necessarily, well, if in my head, if you did this, we would have been okay, so it's your fault, but you can't read my mind, so but you should be able to. And if I get killed, then why didn't you save me? Pushing the blame off a little bit. But yeah, so, but no, I've had my moments, but I also been having a lot more fun with it more recently, and it's like I said, it's just a shift in attitude and trying to get over some of that stuff.
Yeah, Fat Man told me that he felt really bad when he died playing PUBG with you.
He was like, I let him down. I was supposed to watch those stairs.
I let him down.
I remember exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, well, see, again, that was one of those things where I didn't really feel like I communicated well enough. Yeah, I just wanted you to sit there and just shoot anybody if they came down. But you heard and you're like, I'm gonna go take a look. So it's like one of those things where you gave up such a great position. But again, it was my fault because I was trying to flank around. I was trying to see if there was another entrance into where they were to kind of flank around them, and so I should have been a little bit more like, just stay there, like watch the stairs. I'm not going to be here to back you up. But then I did come in and kill those guys, and then some other dude came up behind me and shot me. It was unfortunate. Yeah,
man.
Well,
but it was still fun though. I mean,
Fat Man cried for like a week, dude.
It's all good, man. I forget about things really fast, so
I'm the same way.
Yeah, he forgets about watching the stairs like really quickly.
Yeah. There's a noise. I wonder what that is.
What was I doing here?
Like, what did he say? Go up the stairs? I think he said go up the stairs. Okay.
You mentioned earlier that you would do raid carries.
Yeah, that's how I started. Yeah, I started with Vault of Glass and Crota's End, of course, and then King's Fall when that came out. And King's Fall was the one where I grew the most, and I got really good at that, and I got to a point where I had it very well worked out. So we would generally do I'd stream for about 4 hours a night during the week, and then on the weekends more, but on the evenings during the week we'd be able to get 3 raids in on average, no problem.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like a lot of your growth came from the service, like that type of service stream?
100%. Yeah, because that's just it. People were looking at that, especially at that time, and I think it still kind of holds true to a certain extent, because you look at if you look at the Destiny directory in particular, it's really not true in the other directories from what I have been able to discern. But in the Destiny directory, that's just kind of what Destiny became. You were either a trial Sherpa or you were a raid Sherpa, and everybody else just didn't gain any traction unless you were already established before that kind of took over. And so, yeah, it was definitely a situation where people came to my stream. A large part of my community came to my stream because they wanted to get into a raid with me. And once I kind of stopped doing that, that's when, numbers started to slowly dwindle. But of course, when I switched to more variety, I kind of did it cold turkey. It wasn't something that I gave any warning to. And I definitely did it in the wrong way. But, if I had to do over again, I'd definitely change it. But I just got ready to stream one day, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
How would you, if you could go back and like whisper into your own ear, like, don't do it this way, do it this way, like what would you tell yourself?
I would suffer through. Well, what I would do is one of the tips that you hear fairly often, and something that Broman, I'm sure you've listened to a lot of the podcasts like I have. Yeah. He kind of repeats it. Is 2 things. One, I would split my streams. I'd start off with the raid carries, and we're done doing the raids. Now we're gonna go play this game. That'd be the base of it. The other thing would be to promote it well in advance. Being like, okay, this is what we got coming up. These are the games we're gonna be playing. Next week this game comes out, and so we're gonna still do the raids. But then we're gonna switch over to this other thing, and so that way, in the early part of your stream, you're building up your audience, so that when you move over, people are going to leave. That's just, there's no way around it. You're going to lose people. But when you move over to that other directory where you're trying to gain some traction, at least you'll have a start. So those are kind of the two ways that I've
just noticed,
get in people's
like,
heads.
There's a lot less of those server streams out now, like especially for Destiny. Someone in chat pointed out that WoW carries are still doing pretty well, but Destiny 2 doesn't really have that same kind of community base, like where people are just itching to do the raid over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's just is that there's less people wanting to do it. You know, there's
Right.
less people looking to do it. I mean, there's still. I mean, it seems like every time I look into the Destiny directory, there's the guys that are near the top are the guys that have, you know, raiding with viewers or, you know, raid Sherpa or whatever, you know, or trials Sherpa, especially on the weekends, you know. But you know, it's always those same guys. You generally you don't find anymore the people that are just playing Destiny.
Yeah.
You know, at the top, just playing Destiny aren't the guys that are at the top, generally speaking. You know, and that's, you know, it's a blanket statement, but it's been my observation anytime I've taken a peek in there.
There you go. So would you say like that starting your streaming career as like a service streamer, would you want to go back and change that, or do you feel like that was a great place for you to start?
No, I think it was for me personally, and the environment that the directory was in. I think that was a good place for me to be. I don't know if I would have gained the traction that I did, you know, without that, because that's how, you know, being visible is very important, and it, you know, having people in your chat, in your channel, and raising yourself in the directory is how you get noticed by, you know, other people.
Right.
So at that point, I think that, you know, yeah, I would probably do it. I don't know if I would have done it any differently as far as how I began, because that's definitely how I grew, you know, and grew rapidly. It's just how to you know, where I made the mistake was how I transitioned out of that.
Gotcha. So like, dude, like being able to maintain a chat and a raid team, number one, is a skill that not a lot of people have. But it's kind of like throwing yourself in the deep end there, because if you start off with that, you know, not only do you have to have like satisfying gameplay with the raid itself, but you also got to be, you know, very adamant about keeping up with your chat. So it's kind of like a trial by fire almost, I would think. You know, starting out in that type of a format.
Well, yeah, when you well, I mean, it's just like anything. The longer you do it, the better you're going to get at it, generally speaking, because you're going to learn the little tips and tricks, and you're going to, you know, just through trial and error, find ways to get better. You know, for me, the one thing that I really recommend, you know, in that case, in the case of a service stream, which I don't recommend service streams in general, but for me, that's just kind of how it worked. And again, like I said, I'd probably, if I had to do over again, just because the way the environment was, I'd do it again. But the thing that helped me out was that I didn't really do that with other streamers. You know, I wasn't, you know, with you know, very
Yeah,
I was doing it.
You were the only one streaming.
I was the only one streaming. The people, basically the way I did King's Fall was that I would select I think I selected 3 helpers, and then I would do a drawing for 2 spots. Sometimes I'd do a drawing for 3 spots, but generally 2 spots was the kind of the sweet spot to be able to get through them quickly, because you can generally kind of make up for, you know, 1 or 2 people that are really bad, you know, and you kind of put them in a position to succeed. And so, generally speaking, I had 3 generally 3 helpers. And what I would do is I would start off the stream and be like, okay, I want people to, you know, if you want to help, if you're interested in helping, here's a sign up. You know, I'll select my 3, and generally it was people that, number one, I had played with before and had faith in the fact that they knew how I wanted to run the raid. So I didn't have to do any explaining to them.
Explanating.
Yeah, explanating. Yeah, see? New word.
Write it down.
Yeah, write it down. That's going to be the new explanating. So I would explain, you know, I wouldn't have to explain to them how to do it. You know, I would just, like, I didn't have to worry about them. I didn't have to think about them and what they were doing, because I knew that they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
And then I could just focus on the 2 people that I drew. So I generally chose the same 3, or like from a pool of about maybe 6 or 7 people that were always there.
Right,
you know,
like your ringers.
Yeah. Basically they're ringers. I mean, people call them ringers. Basically the same thing, where, you know, they were always there. And, you know, if there was multiple in there, I'll be like, look, I'm going to take these 3 this time. You know, next time we'll take this group or whatever.
It's a really smart way of doing it.
Yeah, so everybody could get in, but then I do the drawing for whoever, and the people that were, you know, wanting to be helpers, they could enter the drawing too, and I didn't care. I was like, whatever. whoever wins.
Oh yeah.
But I generally limit it to as far as people draw. I wouldn't let two people run twice in a row as far as in the drawing. So if you won a drawing, then the next run, you weren't allowed to get back in. But the other thing with that too was that I generally chose people who I had good chemistry with, as far as just joking around or whatever. We could play off each other, or they would just shut up and not say anything.
Yeah. That's like the only two people that you can really rate on stream with, is either the guys that shut their mouth and do their thing, or the guys who are like, at least somewhat aware of like how a stream is conducted, and they can kind of keep that.
Yeah, and there was definitely people that I had good chemistry with as far as just banter,
right?
Which it can be really entertaining. So for those people, like I said, as long as they're not streaming, you can still have good banter with them, but they're not trying to take over the conversation. I definitely had to deal with, mostly people that won the drawing, where they'd come in and try to take over the stream, and I basically would be like, it's like, hold on, chat, hold on. I'd mute myself, and I'd be like, look, dude, like I can't have you doing this. I need you to, I can't, I'm trying to be entertaining, and you're kind of getting in the way of that. So please, like, I understand your side. You try to, not try to be too much of a jerk, but you're trying to make them understand. It's like, look, this is my stream. I need to be able to focus on chat. I need you to kind of, chill out a little bit. And so in most cases, they were all right with that. But
yeah,
right on. Yeah. So looking forward here, like you did mention now, having fun, wanting to build on that kind of concept. Is there anything happening for you in the future that you wanna talk about, or?
There's really nothing super exciting coming up. The big thing that I'm looking forward to, of course, is Guardian Con, where the current plan, of course, is to be co-hosting the live stream once again with MTash and Typhoon Trav. There's some things kind of in the works that I don't really know enough about to talk about it as far as what's happening at Guardian Con, so I don't really want to say anything about that. But stuff that, if it happens, I'm super excited about. But that's kind of where my focus is now, as far as in the future. There's some games that I'm looking forward to playing. Islands of Nine is going to be available more often now. This week it's going to be going all the way through Monday, and the last I heard is they were going to have the servers up every weekend in February at least, and maybe be more going into March. They were essentially they'd go months without having any actual alpha phase. But I'm looking forward to kind of digging into that and that community. I've definitely got to know a lot of guys out of that community, and so it's been a lot of fun there.
That's
I'm
awesome.
looking forward to games like. This weekend I'm hoping to play Shadow of the Colossus.
Yes.
When God of War comes out, I'll be definitely looking forward to that. Sea of Thieves, I'm looking forward to playing.
I was going to ask you about
that.
Yeah, I didn't play the beta, but I'm looking forward to see everything I heard about that game as far as single players. It was not super fun, but with the fun comes in when you're playing with other people.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to just having some weekend nights where have my bottle of whiskey and we go out and sail the 7 seas and have fun and just joke around.
I wouldn't bring Sneak with you. He'll drink all the he'll drink all the rum and then
Drink all the rum,
over
yeah.
for it.
I will definitely kill the grog barrel. You have to sink the ship to get more too. So.
Oh no. But
man.
yeah, so stuff like that, stuff that you can have fun with other people, but then also be able to focus on, because that's the thing. It's tough when you do too many multi streams. It can be very difficult for you to really connect with chat. And I talked with a guy a while back, several months ago, where he asked me, he just came to me and was like, hey, could you take a look at my stream and see if you have any suggestions? And within the first few minutes of watching his stream, the first thing I noticed is he was doing a multi stream. Mm-hmm. And he never talked because the other guys were talking. I was like, look, it's like, that's great, but it's great to have other people to be hanging out with and spend time and grow together, but it wasn't an equal thing. So the only way, as I suggested was like, look, you're gonna have to kind of break out on your own a little bit, because when you're doing a multi, unless everybody's kind of coming in from the same angle and definitely sharing things, you kind of have to be, especially when you're doing because I think they were doing raid carries and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You kind of have to be the alpha in that, or else you're gonna get buried.
Yeah.
And so And that's kind of what was happening with him. And so he kind of went away from that. And I think he enjoyed it. He ended up enjoying it a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, so at the same time, I'm looking to try to get better as a streamer for games, like single player games where I can really focus directly on interaction and entertainment rather than, depending on other people.
Yeah, I've noticed that, I like to go back and forth between multiplayer and single player, but I have a lot more fun with chat on days that I play something like Skyrim or Fallout or those games where it's like you can hit a pause button, you can go into your menu and pause everything and just focus on one thing at a time. It definitely is a little easier for chat there.
Yeah, same.
Well, I found like when I was streaming No Man's Sky back in August after they had their big update, that was some of the best streaming that I'd ever done, because it's a very passive type of game. And so, I had definitely had a lot of time to just really interact with chat and connect with them. And at that time, people were actually interested in the game because of the updates. So it was a good time for me.
Absolutely. So anybody in chat right now that has any questions for our man Angry Iceberg, pop them in. You guys want to? Obviously, he's going to reserve the right to say "fuck off" if you have a terrible question. I know you, Dave.
We'll say it.
Yes. But please, if you guys have any questions for Angry Iceberg, please pop them in here. I know that I'm super grateful for you taking the time to be with us on the show today, man. It's very cool to have you.
Oh no, like I said, I enjoy it. I enjoy talking and getting my story. Like I was saying on the Broman podcast, people like talking about themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just the way it is. But I like doing the podcast format and just having a conversation and just talking about random stuff. Like I was on. I was on Flakes of Wrath podcast, a couple weeks ago, and we didn't even really talk about me. We were just talking about random shit, and that was really enjoyable. Just talking about just whatever, and we had a lot of fun with that. So I mean, like just having that. I mean, I'm actually just in the brainstorming process of developing my own podcast, trying to figure out how I want to do it exactly and what the content and all that stuff. I've been trying to get Guardian Outpost to do a podcast with me for a little while, because
dude, I would so listen to that. Oh my gosh.
I know, and the fact now that he announced he's going to start streaming more in the evenings, I'm going to double the pressure.
Hell yeah.
Him. But I've also thought about just doing a podcast, on my own as well. So might have a couple podcasts going in. But again, I still doing a lot of brainstorming on number one, format. What exactly I'd be covering, and just how to fit it into my schedule as a whole. And once I get all that figured out, then it'll be something.
Absolutely, yeah, man. Mm-hmm. I've noticed that some people will use their stream platform to host a podcast, like kind of like Broman was doing, where he just kind of stops, focusing on streaming and does his hour or so on the podcast and then comes right back to it. So
for sure, it was
definitely a lot of ways to do
like that. Yeah, I mean, well, when we did about a year. How long did we do that one? We had around 50 episodes of this one we used to call The Loading Screen. I did it with KDX Gaming. He's been a mod for Lono for a very long time. Right. And this dude, Monstrous Rage, who is doing well now on Mixer. He's been streaming for years. But he's starting to do really well on Mixer now.
Awesome.
And we did one that, like I said, we did close to 50 episodes. And that's basically what it was, is that it started on KDX's channel, but then when I was doing well and we'd get good numbers, we moved it over to my channel just to have the people there. And basically the stream would start off with the podcast, and then I'd just go right into mine right afterwards.
Yeah,
and so
just regular streaming. Okay.
It will be a part of my daily, whatever. I'd be a part of my actual daily stream, and then I would, take and distribute it after that.
Awesome. We got a question from chat.
Okay.
Zion wants to know, why do you use XSplit over OBS?
Because when I first started, I had so many problems with OBS. A lot of it stemmed from the audio desync issue that a lot of people have to deal with. And so I just kept on having issues with it. And so I was like, well, let's just try XSplit to see how it goes. And it just instantly, without even really doing anything, the problems went away.
So you use it because it worked better?
because it worked better. Every time I tried to use, I mean, I've tried to use like when they came out with was it OBS Studio or whatever?
Yeah.
I tried that just to see, because there was a few features in there. I was like, hey, that's kind of cool. Maybe I'll give it a shot to see what it was, what it's like. And I still just had nothing but issues with it, as far as setting it up and whatever. XSplit, super simple. It's a very streamlined service. Yes, you have to pay for it, but again, you're getting a quality product out of it. And now I'm also an XSplit Elite member.
There you go.
So I'm actually getting it for free, even though I'm actually subscribed to it. I subscribed to it about a year and a half ago through a Christmas promotion, and I'm subscribed to it like through 2020, but I still get it for free.
Nice.
So if I want it now, but they didn't like refund me or anything.
Fantastic.
So, yeah. A big fan of XSplit. I got a code, I think, somewhere. No, actually, I don't have a code. I'm supposed to have a code. I really should get on that. Figure out what the hell my code is. I don't think they ever told me
Need more codes.
Because my affiliate link, so that I could make money and be like, hey, yeah, if you guys subscribe with my link, but I don't know whatever happened to that. But yeah. So.
Dude, once again, thank you for taking the time to talk with us, man. It's been great. I think I need to refresh my coffee pot and take a pee-pee. It's about that time.
There you go, pee-pee, huh?
Yeah,
go potty.
Gotta go. It's like a 3-minute break kind of session right now.
That's fine.
I drank too much coffee, guys. Too much coffee. That'll do it to you.
I don't drink coffee, so.
Oh.
What?
Do you drink G Fuel?
No.
No?
Not anymore.
Oh.
I don't need all that lead.
I had my daily dose of lead today. Okay.
No, actually, I did. I tried G Fuel back in the day. Like about a year ago, I drank G Fuel, and I didn't mind it, but I eventually just got away from it. I actually drink the caffeine. Where I get my caffeine is from actually Crystal Light, of all things. They have the Crystal Light caffeine,
There you go.
so that's kind of what I drink. So I try to stay on the keto diet, and it's. I mean, I think a lot of those drinks are good for keto. At least GG Subs, I know for sure it doesn't have any carbs or sugar, so it's fine. But I always have Crystal Light. You can just get it from the store or whatever. So
Word.
Yeah.
Word.
Well, Sneak, if you want to go pee real quick,
Yeah.
we can continue on.
Okay. Good. Pee-pee time.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
Give me 3 to 5.
okay.
All right, we'll be here.
I bet you will.
So
Wait, is that a
Iceberg.
wager that I can. Oh. It's like we could win that one.
Oh, only 5 minutes. We got this.
Yeah. I could be gone in 5 minutes. No.
So what made you go back to the floating head after you went away from it?
Yeah, we never did finish that. So basically, it got to a point where I was feeling things were kind of feeling kind of stale. I really didn't know what direction I wanted to take the channel in, and I just needed a change. And I had some ideas in the back of my head, and I wanted to kind of move my setup around a little bit. And so that's kind of what happened with that. Is I was like, well, let's try this out. Just like when I tried the floating head thing, I was like, well, let's try this other thing out and just kind of see how people react to it. People like change, and it can kind of shake things up a little bit. So let's go ahead and try it and see what happens. And it was one of those things where I was going to be able to set it up to where I could go back and forth fairly easily, and I still can. I can just take my screen down fairly easily and go back to the other way. But what it turned out to be was that after a while, it didn't really give me the sense that I wanted it to, as far as, when I was, having the full cam box.
Yeah.
It didn't really feel like I was connecting the way I was before with my audience, because a lot of people kind of came to expect that. And again, from the reason why I did it to begin with was to get people in the door and then try to win them over with my personality. And so, I definitely noticed, just through looking at my metrics, that there was definitely a decline in viewership, and the numbers were going in the wrong direction, and it just didn't feel right. And so it just wasn't me. And, I feel like there's, sometimes when you do different things or you dress a different way, it can really affect your personality and how you feel about yourself and how you interact with others. And so I was like, well, let's go back to it. And when I did, it just felt like home. It just felt like this is the way it's supposed to be. This is how people identify with me. And this is, it's essentially my brand. And so from a business standpoint, it was it was kind of the right thing to do, but also just from emotionally, it feels better. And, you know, because when I generally saw fewer people coming, new faces in the chat doing the other thing, because that, I mean, you're just like everybody else with a cambot,
Yeah.
you know, there's everybody, it seems like you look in like a PUBG directory, everybody's trying to look like Summit.
Yeah.
You know?
Got the whole setup,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the angle, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody's trying to be, you know, the top guy. And when I was like, well, let's just go back to being me, you know, and I wouldn't like, not like I was trying to copy anybody. I was just like, you know, I have all this cool stuff I want to put on display, and I want this, you know, cool setup, and I wanted the environment around me to be, you know, a little bit more relaxed and a little more chill.
Yeah. I remember whenever I came in there, I'm like, we're loading head. Then I really did a kick-ass setup, and then because I asked about it, and you I think there was a command for like the YouTube video or something, and I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm just like, well, holy shit, you know, I liked it. Then whenever I went back a little bit later, and because I sleep most of the time whenever you're streaming or going to work
Sure.
And so whenever I went back, I'm like, okay, he's back to the floating head. I'm like, what did I miss?
Yeah. No, it was one of those things where I fully intended on doing the floating head from, you know, just time to time, but you know, once I get back to it, I was like, number one, I'm too lazy to take the green screen down. I mean, it doesn't take much. I just basically have it. I have a pole on hooks. Yeah. And I could just like take the pole down and just whatever. But at the same time, it's just who I am. It's what I've, you know, what I've become. It'd be kind of like Dr. Disrespect coming on as, you know, just without the wig and all that stuff, and just being a dude on, you know, stream. It's something you become. I'm not really a character, but it's just something that people identify you with, and, you know, it becomes a part of your personality.
Mm-hmm.
So
I got you. Okay, Hicker, you have fun, man. I'm trying to think. Like, one of the big questions I was ready to ask. I was like, I gotta know what happened, and
it was just, you know, one of the things you know, like a lot of people kind of suffer from burnout.
Yeah,
and it's a way to kind of get away from some of my burnout a little bit. And again, you know, it was a big part of me trying to discover exactly where I wanted to go with the stream, what I wanted to do. You know, I was going through a lot of doubts. You know, numbers were down. I wasn't really having fun. I was hoping that Destiny 2 could be the same thing that Destiny 1 was for me, and not as far as just growth, but just as far as enjoyment. Yeah. And it really wasn't that, and it still really isn't that. Every once in a while when I go back, one nice thing was when I stopped playing Destiny 2, and I took like a month and a half off, and then I went back to it, I actually started to kind of enjoy it, you know, and just started to enjoy that grind because I wasn't burnt out on it, because I played for the first, you know, couple months just nonstop, and that's all I played, and I kind of got burnt out on it. But then there's all these other games coming out, you know, that came out, and I wanted to play them and try all these other things. But I'm still kind of searching for that one game that really hooks me, which I haven't exactly found yet. You know, I started playing Warframe back in November. I've been played that quite a bit. You know, I'm part of the Warframe partnership program now. Mm-hmm. And so that, to continue to be a part of that, you have to stream that at least once a week, or you have to create content for that at least once a week. So I decided, okay, this is going to be Mondays. But part of my problem too is just finding a schedule that I can identify, or I can continue with, or, you know, keep up, and people can kind of come to expect what I'm going to be doing and when I'm going to be doing it.
Yeah, like this day, this game, you know.
Yeah, so Mondays for sure is Warframe, you know, unless something crazy happens. But the rest of the week is still kind of up in the air at this point. Like yesterday I played Warframe because they unvaulted some Warframes that you couldn't really get before, you know, without, you know, having to purchase them from other players. Yeah. So I was like, well, let's go and play this because I really want those Warframes. You know, but today, like, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to play. I might play some Islands of Nine. I'm going to probably talk to some other friends of mine and who might be playing and try to maybe get in some Islands of Nine today. But this weekend, probably more Islands of Nine. But it's again, it's one of those things I have to figure out. What do I want to play? When do I want to play it? So that people can come to expect it. And that's, like I said, with when I transitioned, I didn't do a good job of transitioning out. It's still the same thing, as people need to know what to expect and when to expect it. Otherwise, you know, it's going to be hard for people to find you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
especially when you're doing the variety thing. You know, if you're like the kind of person who sits in the same directory, then it's a little bit easier for people to know what to expect.
Yeah.
But it's like this day, this game, and then I want to play this game the next day,
Yeah, if I wanted easy numbers, I could just go back to playing Destiny and doing raids again.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be easy numbers for me.
But you wasn't getting the enjoyment out of it.
Right, exactly. I wasn't having fun with it. And that was the problem when I went away from it. Like I said, number one, it was shortly after Wrath of the Machine came out, and I really wasn't having a whole lot of fun with Wrath of the Machine. A lot of my helpers from the King's Fall kind of fell away from the game. They weren't enjoying Wrath of the Machine as much, and so they weren't really coming around as much to help out. And so if I wanted to do Wrath of the Machine, I would have to bring more, random folks in, people that I really hadn't played as much with, and they generally did not work out very well. So that's a lot of frustration.
Well, I was never a big fan of Wrath anyways. I was a King's Fall kind of person. But
that was Bacon's favorite one, man. Bacon loved it.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind Wrath as so much as long as it had a good team. And that was the thing, is it was hard to put together a good team. And it got, just harder and harder. And I just, got home one day after work and I was like, I just don't want to do this anymore. I couldn't go live and be like, this is what we're going to do today and the next day and the next day. And so I had to break away. That I was struggling with it mentally. And so that was kind of around that time that I was really starting to get interested in Battle Royale games, because H1Z1 was doing really well at that time. This was before PUBG. It was on anybody's radar, really.
Yeah.
With the exception of the people that were in the early alpha stuff. So the Division came out with Survival. And so I started playing Survival and really enjoying that. So that kind of gave me my Battle Royale fix. But it also allowed me to not have the stress of a PvP situation if I didn't want it. So I can go ahead and play PvE. And so it was a little bit less stressful, and I enjoyed it. And I really got into the Division at that point. But eventually that, of course, kind of wore thin and started going in different directions. But so.
Right on. We do have a question from chat here. L360 wants to know, most, not all, small streamers tend to host massive streamers hoping for a shout out from someone big in search of followers. As a larger streamer, if you raid host new people, would it be based on how unique the content seems, or if it's a different style, or just like the next person on the list?
Well, so I generally I have a few thoughts on the hosting and stuff. Number one, as a small streamer, when you host large streamers, especially if you were to host somebody who has hundreds, of
gigantic
viewers, it can get very lost. And most people, number one, a lot of those larger streamers don't even have alerts for it.
Yeah.
And won't even recognizing it at all, just because they don't have alerts, and it's going to be hard for them to kind of keep up, and they're getting hosted a lot. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't host up the people that you enjoy. So like I have a lot of the guys that really helped me along growing as a streamer on my auto host list. So guys like Game Sager, Professor Broman, King Athalion, all my network brothers and sisters. And so a lot of these guys that really, I try to kind of pay them back through the auto host feature and stuff like that. But you generally won't see me hosting any of them outright or rating any of them unless they're just getting online. I want to help them kind of get started.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Generally speaking, 9 times out of 10, or maybe, 19 out of 20, but most of the time you'll see me rating somebody who is lower in the directory. I generally will try to keep it in the directory. I generally will keep it to people that I know, because when you raid somebody that you don't know, it's kind of a crapshoot.
It's definitely a crapshoot.
I've definitely rated people that I regretted.
Yeah.
Like immediately, like if I didn't know them, like sometimes I will just raid random people. I'm like, hey, let's go, especially when I'm drunk. I was like, let's go raid this guy. And then, you get in there and then they're just a complete pile of garbage. And you're just like, what did I do?
Yeah.
Because you're exposing your community to somebody and you're hoping that they'll like them and that they'll have entertainment. You can kind of, try to help somebody out. Because I remember when I was still when I was still starting out, and I would get a raid from somebody big, and I remember how exciting it was for me to get that boost. And so I generally try to look to give other people that same, share that same feeling with other people. And that's generally what I look for when I go for randoms. You'll see me going down to, like, a lot of times if I go like, let's go rate somebody random, it's usually somebody that has less than 10 viewers. And sometimes even less than that. Let's go blow this person's chat out. Let's go make this person's night. That's kind of the idea.
See, I've ran into it one time where I rated someone and their bot banned me because I was spamming emotes and stuff.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, "Oh, well, you got purged. You got timed out," and then just continued going. I'm just like,
yeah, that was kind of a bad. And then
I get untimed out, and I say something in caps and get banned again. I'm like, ugh.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's different people have different views on like the the whole spamming emotes and whatnot. There's kind of a fine line between being a little bit too spammy or whatever, and then just being trying to get hype up in the chat and whatnot.
Right.
And so there's people have to kind of find that, because I've definitely had raids where it's just constantly just like one guy just spamming things, and every once in a while somebody else will spam something, and then then one guy, and you're just like, all right, because it can kind of detract from a chat a little bit.
Yeah.
Because like actual messages will get lost in there. And I always appreciate anybody that comes in and raids hosts. I always try to shout, like at least thank everybody who comes in and hits that host button, whether it's even just for one person or because I always appreciate any support, big or small, that I receive. And even the auto hosts, I always see them coming through, and I see who auto hosts me, and when I can, I do what I can to try to return the favor where appropriate. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't really recommend hosting larger streamers, for like the reason why I mentioned before, as far as if you're trying to do it in a way to network. Like I said, host, go ahead and rate and host people that you support and you want just to support them, not to gain their recognition.
Yeah. I always try to find people who, like, I think my community would connect with.
Yeah,
sure, exactly. But if you're doing it from a situation where you're trying to network, and I don't really see anything wrong with that. People, there's a lot of taboos around, and there was one thing that I tried to dispel real early. There was a taboo about, and this was before affiliate program, but there was a big taboo about, you don't talk about wanting to be partnered. A lot of people were real apprehensive to talk about, like,
oh right,
hey, I want to get partnered. That's my goal. I want to get partnered. I want to make money at doing this. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with that, and people still, you still see people like, oh, I just want to do it to have fun. It's like, hey, that's great. Everybody does. But, like most people who get into this, they're, with some exceptions, they're, trying to make something out of it. They, not just doing it just because they really enjoy it. Some people do, but I mean, there's still definitely something behind there. And so I tried to kind of push past some of those taboos a little bit and be like, just be open about it. I mean, I would respect it more if you're just being like honest about it. And people, they'll host and rate people, for that person, purpose of trying to get noticed. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, especially if it's a way to start a dialogue, with another streamer that you enjoy or you want to get to know and maybe network with. And that's another thing, is networking is such a kind of a 4-letter word to some people. You want to create relationships, which is absolutely true. You do want to create relationships, but I mean, using the word networking shouldn't be a bad thing. Mm-hmm. So what I suggest, and this is nothing new, it's nothing original, but network with the people that are around you, that are similar size, and grow together. That's exactly what happened with myself, K Magic, Guardian Outpost, Jay Sniperton, Evil Aura, the network. Mm-hmm. Exactly. We were all people around the same size. We were growing at a very similar rate. Evil Aura was, at this time, he was kind of, when we started the network, it was kind of early on for him. And by the way, the name of the network has nothing to do with networking.
Right.
If anybody's curious how we got our name, basically it was myself, Evil Aura, and Guardian Outpost sitting around talking about how, with the people that we were associating with, basically in the morning, Guardian Outpost were streaming in the morning. Mm-hmm. After Guardian Outpost would be Evil Aura would stream early afternoon. I would get on slightly after Evil Aura. It was right around the time that he got done. So, and then K Magic would be on or get on right around when I got done. And then after K Magic was on, that was when Jay Sniperton got on, and then Jay Sniperton kind of fed into Guardian Outpost, and that was kind of the original idea, was to kind of feed our community, because we shared a lot of the same community, and so we would feed each other those and try to grow. And so Guardian Outpost made the mention. He said, it's kind of like a radio station or like a TV station. I was like, yeah, and I was like, it's just like a network. You know, and so they were like, yeah, that's the name, the network. And so that's kind of where the network came in. So it wasn't like we're networking together. No, that's not what it's all about. Right. And the network has become something completely different. I mean, you don't see us hosting and rating each other all the time. You know, we will support each other and stuff like that. Like I said, they're on my auto. They got priority for my auto host. Sure. So if they're online, you know, and I'm not hosting anybody else, it'll automatically go to one of them. But you know, we have we've been together as a stream team for like 2 years now, which is crazy to think about. It's flown by, but we get along so well for a couple reasons. Is because we see a lot of things in a similar fashion. But we also are very unique, and we do disagree on a number of things, but we discuss it in a mature fashion, because we are all mature adults, and we respect each other, and we respect each other's ideas. So a lot of what we do is, hey, we're having a bad day. We go in there and we talk about, our concerns, or, and whatever. And we kind of work through problems together. And it's a really nice resource. The other thing that really helps us too is that we don't have a single member that is like the leader. We don't have a leader. It's just us together. Yeah. Nobody has an ego and being like, this is my stream team. K Magic created the stream team when he got partnered, because he was the first one to get partnered. And that was the deal, was that whoever got partnered first created the stream team. But he is not the leader of the stream team.
Right. He just happened to have gotten there first.
Yeah.
Right. So we're all equal in each other's eyes as far as the running, and we all bring unique perspectives. K Magic, he's obviously very tapped into a lot of things, being very close to, of course, King Ithalian and Professor Broman, and a lot of these other names, and being very heavily involved in Rare Drop and Guardian Con, all that stuff. So he brings a lot of value in that regard, a lot of knowledge, a lot of perspective that the rest of us don't have. Jason Eberton, he's the only one that's streaming overnight, and he has a lot of his own perspective on things. And so we all kind of bring something a little different. Megany, she, is our only female, and also our only non-North American, well, actually non-American streamer in the team. So she definitely brings a lot, because she talks a lot about how things are run over in Europe versus the way they're over here. So that's very valuable, and so we get a lot of information there, and not just that, but just being a female streamer and some of the things that she has to deal with. So she brings a lot of that perspective to the conversation, and then and then me and Aura and Vibronium being the newest member, and everything that he went through, and how he just exploded after he got partnered, because he was really close to quitting. A lot of people don't really realize that, but he was really having a hard time, getting focused on things. And I would like to think that being a part of the network really kind of helped him work through that. And now he's doing amazing, and it's awesome to see.
I think it's really important, as a streamer, to make those kind of friends, and like you said, like it's kind of a good idea to stick around people in the same kind of sphere as you are, and then like you just find any way you possibly can to support each other. That's really important.
Well, that's just it. I mean, it's not, like I said, it's not just about hosting and rating. You have to be. We are like a family, and we stick up for each other. We don't always agree. Like me and yesterday, K Magic and I were arguing on who is the greatest quarterback of all time. It was almost a heated discussion, but in the end it was just like, yeah, whatever, like we won't really think about it. Other than that, we understand where each other's coming from as far as whatever, and we just kind of put it aside, and we're not mad at each other, we're just getting into it. But But that's the thing is like, we definitely have, our disagreements, and we have our moments where we're, you would think that we were mad at each other, but we're not. We're just having a discussion and trying to, help each other out. And I think that's kind of important. You see a lot of stream teams that are started by a streamer that, whether they have the original intention of actually trying to help somebody out, or what the purpose of their stream team is. It generally, a lot of stream teams just end up benefiting only the person who started it and not the people that are joining it.
I agree.
So
when
and I started a Major Rager stream team, and I still communicate with a few of the people that are a part of it, but I don't add anybody to it, and I didn't add a whole lot of people to it because I didn't feel like that they would get any value out of it. And so, it's important for me to be able to provide value to the people they're in the street in the Major Rager stream team. And I wanted to kind of have a dynamic similar to what the network has, and in a way it does. But again, at the same time, when I start really focusing on the Major Rager stream team, it's because I know that I can provide value to the people in the team, and it's not people in the team providing value to me. And that's why I see people, just adding all these different people to a stream team is like, what value are you getting out of that team? And hopefully, I'm not saying that they aren't, but so I hope that they are. But at some point, a stream team will get so big that it's just unsustainable.
Yeah, it doesn't help anyone at that point.
Yeah, it's just basically because when I was kind of first growing, I'd see somebody who was in a part of a stream team, because back when I first started out, finding stream teams weren't as widespread as they are now, because there's a lot more partners now too, and whatnot. But you'd look at somebody and they'd see a stream team, they'd be on a stream team, and so you click on that, and basically all I'd look for is like, okay, who's the partner? Who started the stream team? That's who I'd look for. And I wouldn't, I didn't look at these other names. I'd just look and see who that partner was. And so it to me, it was somewhat, it didn't help. So,
yeah, making actual real life, like I'm your friend kind of relationships, whether or not you're on the same stream team, like if you're both streamers, you can find ways to help each other just by being friends, like you want to take criticism, but criticism, makes more sense from someone who you respect.
Well, it's not only that, but you identify with them. You can see where they're coming from, and they can see where you're coming from.
Right.
And so when you take, like, for example, with Ask Broman's podcast is invaluable. It really is. He has a lot of great information in that podcast. But at the same time, and he'll be the first one to admit it, that at some point you have to gain perspective of people that are in a similar position, because he, as much of experience, he's been doing this for 5+ years, that there's going to be things that he may have experienced in the past, but he may have lost focus on. And so it's going to be important, for him to identify with those through people pointing it out to him, or give advice based on his own experience, which may or may not be what's the word, like
relevant?
Relatable now. Yeah, relevant. There you go. Relevant now. So but the good thing is he does tend to if you listen to him, he does tend to stick to advice that is appropriate for the question asked. And I don't think he, tries to make real big blanket statements that may not be relevant. If that makes any sense.
I think, he's providing an invaluable resource for people, especially people who are like, at a certain stage where maybe they've plateaued, or maybe they've hit a wall, or, maybe they like have to kind of regroup and rethink. And, his perspective, I think, is really important. And he's just giving it out, he's giving it away for free. That's like, going to like the Harvard of streaming and getting free classes. Like that's really important, I think, for people to branch out and reach out and like look for things if they're trying to get better, if they're trying to hone their craft, if they're trying to make an effort. You should definitely go listen to the people who have been there, and the people who can
succeeded
give
doing
you
it.
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's just it too. That it's a way for him to kind of reconnect to some of these things. Like I said, that maybe he hadn't thought about for a while. Then maybe he lost sight of. You can like look at it, and be like, yeah, that's very important for you to know. It's not maybe as important for me to know anymore because I'm at this level, or I've gotten past that. But until you get past that, this is stuff that you should look at and is relevant to what you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So definitely important. Keep your focus. Remember where your roots. But you're gonna lose. As you grow and the more you stream, you're gonna lose a little bit of that. That's one of the things that when I was really struggling with streaming and trying to figure out where I was and where I was going and trying to figure out how that I can move forward and improve. One of the things I looked at is like, okay, what was I doing last year this time when I was growing? What was I doing? What's the difference between then and now? And so it was definitely a part of the evaluation process for me to look to, to get better. So
fantastic. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. M. Robs says, at some point, do you think Twitch will reach a saturation point and be unsustainable for new streamers? Like there's no more room?
I think Twitch is kind of at that point right now. It's difficult to really grow right now in the environment that Twitch is at. I know that other people have talked about it, but I look at it a lot. Believe me, I was actually just talking about this last night on stream. If I wasn't a partner streamer, I would probably go to Facebook today. I looked at Facebook after the whole darkness thing, and Tim when he went over there.
Yeah.
I looked at it and I was like, and I thought about it and I was like, man, it makes a lot of sense to be on Facebook right now. As somebody who, if you're not monetizing your stream in a significant way right now, then I think Facebook is a good place to be because there is such an untapped market there.
Yes.
Now, the only concern that I have right now is that Facebook is not fully committed to it, which I think that could change in the near future. I've kind of heard rumblings of a few things, but the thing about Facebook is that it has a pre-installed market.
Yes.
That's just waiting to be exploited.
Yes.
You've got, hundreds of millions of people that log into that site every single day. If you were to get just a small percentage of that to stop by your stream, especially if Facebook begins to come out with ways to monetize that, for you to monetize your own stream, then the sky's really the limit. And and Broman talks about it a lot, and this is one of the reasons why and I know he's kind of heard some things too,
right?
But so there's there's certain circles that they hear a few things here and there, and I haven't heard anything specific, but I've heard things about people hearing about things. So
it's definitely an untapped market.
There's a very good chance of something big happening in Facebook in the relatively near future. And like I said, for me, it's really scary to as a Twitch partner who would, if I were to go over to Facebook, I wouldn't have the contract that Tim has. Right. Tim has a contract that made sense for him to go over there and some security to do that, to give up what he gave up on Twitch. I simply don't have that, and I'm not in a position to where I can really gamble my position in the market right now to try to do that. I would have to do something more along the lines of it would be a huge gamble for me, essentially, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, but I thought about it, man. I really have. It's definitely something that,
I've been thinking about it as well.
Yeah, I've talked about, with my friends and stuff like that. Just like, it's definitely, it's one of those, like I said, I looked at it pretty thick and I was like, yep, if I wasn't a partner, even if I was an affiliate, I'd be like, yep, let's go do Facebook. If I wasn't a partner, I'd be over there. I'd be streaming on there today. 100%. And so I think that, Twitch has an opportunity to turn it around. They really do. But I don't know how they would do it. And I don't think they know how they're going to do it.
Yeah.
It's going to be very interesting. I think that, the affiliate program for a lot of people was a very good thing, because they got a little bit of taste of, monetizing their stream similar to a partner. So they got a little bit of that taste. But at the same time, I think it could have been kind of counterproductive. Now, when they introduced the affiliate program, or when they introduced bits, one of the things that Twitch talked about was making more of an opportunity for more people to make a living streaming on Twitch.
Right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the way it's kind of worked out is that it kind of worked the opposite, where it generally the people that are making the money and actually making a living were either really established or very lucky at this point. The common theme that you hear, some of the guys like, Brahman or Goth or some of these guys one of the things they say, and it's very, very true, is that there was a finite pool of money, okay, that a relatively small group of people were drawing from. Then the affiliate program happened. Now you have
spread that out,
like 4 or 5 times of people in that same finite pool of money.
Yeah.
I agree.
So it makes it very difficult for people to, people to actually, it makes it so it's harder it makes it so less people are able to make money, whereas more people could have had they, I don't know, I'm trying to, it seems counterintuitive, but if you had, say right now you have like 27,000 partners. When I got partnered, there was about 18,000. The year before there was like 11,000. So obviously they're adding on to the partnership program. But at that point, you could have had, 20,000 without the affiliate program. You probably could have had 20,000 people making a living wage. Streaming on Twitch. Right now with the affiliate program, how many people are in the affiliate program able to make a living wage with the affiliate program?
Not many.
And so, not very many. Very few. Very, very few. And what happened was it basically turned a lot of partners, and again, and here's kind of the caveat, is that the partners that it really hurt were people that weren't really established and maybe weren't the top tier anyway. It's people that need to improve. So like when I look at the affiliate program, I don't blame the affiliate program for, my numbers. My numbers are my numbers because of decisions I made.
Yeah.
And I have to look to make better decisions. Okay. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm like blaming the affiliate program for me not being able to be full time. That's definitely not the case. But
you heard it here first, folks. Angry Iceberg shitting on the affiliate program.
Yeah, screw you, affiliates.
Damn affiliates.
Oh, you guys.
But no, you away his beer money. Come on now.
Yeah. So I said it from day one. It's like, look, at this point I need to step it up or else I'm going to be left behind. And so, I still kind of hold that mantra, but at the same time, people that I think it hurt some people's drive to get partnership. Because I think it took away a little bit of the prestige of being a partner. Because it doesn't. This might be my perspective because I've been a partner now for a year and a half, going over a little year and a half. So it might be just my perspective, but it just feels different.
It's like less special.
Exactly. The prestige is kind of worn off on it.
I understand that.
So, but it'd be something else I was going to mention, but I forget now. At any rate. Yeah, so it's I would definitely, like I said, I think it's a safer bet. If I was starting, especially if I was starting out now, Facebook is a good place to start.
I mean, even Mixer is a viable platform.
The Mixer's good, but it doesn't have the traffic. Is the only difference.
Right.
Facebook, traffic.
Yeah, it's like a built-in audience there. Like everyone has a Facebook.
Yep, everybody has a Facebook.
I think that. I think that more and more, like as Facebook is kind of leaning into that, they're gonna offer more of the peripherals. Like you'll be able to get, like chatbots, and you'll be able to kind of like utilize some of the same stuff that you're getting on Twitch. More and more people are probably gonna move over there.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's in its infancy right now. Like it's so brand new. Like there's just no telling like exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah, and the thing that I looked over and the way that they currently have it set up over on Facebook is that generally your top three or four streamers in a directory are going to get a lot of attention just because the way they have it currently set up. So if you have the community to pull over there and be able to get into one of those spots, you're going to be more noticeable just because of the way they have it set up. So I mean, there's some kind of caveats to that thing. The other thing I was going to say, now I think about the affiliate thing, is that the one thing, you know, some people may not realize, or maybe they do, or maybe they've heard it, is the affiliate program was more about helping Twitch than helping streamers.
Yes.
Because basically, you know, and again, this isn't an original idea. This isn't my idea. I just agree with it. But Twitch basically needed a way to keep people from going to other platforms. The affiliate program was that. Also, at the same time, now they can actually tap into some of the revenue that they weren't getting from these streamers. So it's kind of like, it was a kind of a twofold thing. So, you know, for Twitch to say, oh, we're trying to make it so more people can make money, is like, well, not.
They're trying to make it to where they could make a little more money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, whatever. It's a business.
You had all these people starting out, and you know, they're like, well, let's make them affiliates, and that'll be a way for us to get more money also. I mean,
but again, at the same time, it'll keep them from going over to Mixer.
Yeah.
Right. At the same time, because it's in their contracts. Like, well, now I'm over here, I'm making money over here. Why would I go to Mixer? Well, you know, because I mean, overall, you have to kind of look at it from the long game. You have to look down the road and see where you're going, and not where you're currently at. You know, and see, because streaming and you hear it all over the time. I mean, even Dr. Disrespect, he's been around for years. He didn't just blow up until this, you know, within the last year. You look back this time last year, you know, he was getting what? I mean, he was still doing well, but he was like what, 1,000, 2,000 viewers, something like that. You know, and nobody really knew him until, you know, just like towards the tail end of when H1Z1 kind of fell off, and then when PUBG started taking over, that's kind of where, you know, so
where it all built up,
off, and then he just exploded.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I mean, like he'd been around for a long time, and just nobody paid attention.
I believe, like, from what I've read on the affiliate contract, like, you can stream to other places, you just can't do it at the same time.
Right. But see, that's the hitch. See, that's the hitch, is that when you are, you know, like, his schedule is huge, and knowing when to expect you is huge, and where to expect you is really big. So for me, like, I have a very limited schedule due to work, to my full-time job.
Right.
And I can only stream at a certain time, and my, you know, so to split up my streams between Twitch and Facebook is a huge gamble, because you kind of have to commit to one. If you cannot restream to all of them because of your contract, you really have to commit to one.
Yeah.
You know, to try to grow your stream. So you're either saying, okay, hopefully Twitch will turn things around and people will somehow find me because I'm on Twitch. It's the streaming platform that has the most current traffic looking to consume my style of content, or play the long game and go over to Mixer or Facebook. And again, I think Facebook's a little bit better option, but there's definitely some good things about Mixer, you know, because you have the Microsoft support, you know, especially if you're an Xbox streamer.
Yep.
It's a very good place. But Facebook is kind of like taking a gamble on the long game. You know,
you're like getting it in at the ground up, like you're.
Yeah, so Facebook goes in full force on this thing. It's going to be a very good place to be established when things blow up. It's kind of like just being in the right place at the right time for a specific game. So if you were here at the beginning of Destiny, the same time that King Gathalion and Professor Broman and, you know, Crafty and all these other guys first got started and started to get their names out there, if you were here then and you are the top of the directory, you might be in the same position that King Gathalion and Professor Broman and all these other guys are. You might have become that directory. You might have been involved and become, you know, close with, or become a part of kind of that group of people who interact with each other and feed off each other and are doing these different things, like starting coffee companies. You know,
right.
You know, it's one of those things where there's a lot of luck involved, but there's also some ability to make your own luck by looking at trends and looking and taking risks.
Yep.
I think taking risk is kind of where people are hung up. You know, like someone like me, like, you know, I'm considering Facebook. I don't have a whole bunch of followers. You know, I'm relatively small, and you know, with the contract I currently have with the affiliate program, like I wouldn't be able to like say, you know, I'm live on Twitch right now, but you can come check me out on Facebook, or, you know, use Facebook as a funnel to come to Twitch, because I wouldn't have the opportunity to be live on both at the same time.
Yeah. See, that's the nice thing too, like, especially if you start to, like, the nice thing about Facebook with all the people that are there, you know, they don't have to, you know, if you're on Facebook and you're able to get your message out to say even if it's just friends and family, because most people have, you know, a few hundred people that they just already have on their feed. You can be like, look, I'm streaming this video game. You can come watch me live now, and it's right here on Facebook. They don't have to go to some weird website called twitch.tv. Right. They don't know anything about. It's right there on Facebook. Hey, let's go see Tommy play some video games. Let's see what this is all about. Oh, look at Tommy. You know, I mean, so you already have kind of a pre-built-in audience there.
Yeah.
You know, like Facebook has a lot of work to do to improve their interface. You know, and stuff like that. Like, I don't really like their chat because you're chatting with your actual real name.
Your actual name, yes.
Which bugs me a lot. But at the same time, if that becomes the norm, nobody's going to care anymore.
Yeah, well, and you know, it kind of adds a little bit of a layer of protection, because, you know, someone comes in and they're like just a complete asshole, like, you know who they are. You know what I mean? Like, that's.
But if they make ways to make it private, where maybe it's just your first name, but they can't link directly to your profile. I mean, they maybe look at your profile, but they wouldn't be able to get any information just if you were to make it private or whatever. Yeah. You know, so I mean, there's some things, some kinks they have to work out, but, you know, Facebook is a big company. You know, it's filled with very intelligent people and they have a lot of money. Yeah. So I would think that, you know, they have a big opportunity to really take over this space, and it's something that I think is ripe for the taking. Honestly, the way that things have been going recently with Twitch, I mean, it's kind of like going from the original EverQuest and then having this startup copycat named World of Warcraft coming in. Mm-hmm. And at the same time you had EverQuest 2. You know, what was a safe bet? Probably EverQuest 2. Right? That was a safe bet, but what was a better bet? World of Warcraft.
Which one panned out?
Yeah. So, you know, like right now, Twitch kind of feels kind of like the original EverQuest in this situation. You know, I mean,
I agree with that. Yeah.
Maybe it might be a bad metaphor, a bad comparison, but, you know, it's still, it's like there's that potential for that to happen. Or on the other side is that, you know, people of the generation that would take in this content maybe don't see Facebook the way they did 8 years ago. You know, and that the people that are really connecting, because Facebook, as I'm sure a lot of us know, started out as a way for, it was a college thing. It was only for college students.
Yeah.
And then it branched out to other people, and that's kind of where it took off, and it took over MySpace's market share.
Yeah, it was a MySpace killer.
Yeah, it was a MySpace killer, absolutely. And so, but again, like I said, we all have Facebook pages. Everybody has a Facebook page.
Yep.
You might not visit it every day like you used to. I mean, I don't. I mean, I actually hate Facebook for what it's become. I really have. But again, at the same time,
ad-driven bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just a bunch of dumb videos.
Yeah.
But I don't care. So, and you know that I mean, there's a lot of risk there, but there's a lot of potential as well. So.
Yeah, it's like I've made the comparison. It's like if you think about Twitch as a pie, you know, there's a Twitch pie, and there's only a certain number of people on Twitch, so there's only a certain, you know, amount of pie there.
For sure.
And as an affiliate, as a smaller streamer, like the amount of pie you get is minuscule, because there's only so much available. But if you look at Facebook as a different pie, that would be like a gigantic house-sized pie that you would then be able to possibly, you know, carve out a much larger piece for yourself without worrying about all the competition, because there's really nothing, there's no one there.
Right. Well,
so even though Twitch is established, you know, everyone loves Twitch pie, there's this new pie out there that maybe, you know,
There's Facebook pie.
Facebook pie.
Well, that's just it. I mean, you look at the guys that were here when it switched over, when people that were here when it was Justin.tv, guys that stuck with it. You know, there's people that are just absolutely huge. People that names that people everybody knows. Are they the best streamers on Twitch? No, probably not. There's some guys that are, you know, probably in the top 10 that are not the best streamers on Twitch. They've just been around. You know, they've made good decisions. They haven't gone out there and killed their career with some dumb they said on YouTube or something.
Right.
But they built their communities. They connected with their communities. And they've been consistent enough that they're still here, and people identify. Sometimes people live off of just their name. That people know their name. You know, if you get your name out there and on Facebook, if that's the name they see when they come in, and if that's the name that they recognize, and that's why, you know, I talked about earlier how having a name that's easy to remember is important.
Yep.
You know, then they're going to be. You know, anytime they see that name, it's like, oh, I remember that guy. Let's go see what they're up to right now.
Yeah, let's go check that out.
Yeah.
Hold on.
So, but
Dude, great conversations today, man. Chat's loving it.
I'm glad. Like I said, I like talking about this stuff, man. I love talking shop, man. It's a lot of fun. It helps me kind of think through a lot of my things as well.
Yeah.
Right on, yeah.
Right now, I'm like, hell, I'm just gonna get off right here. I'm gonna go stream on Facebook right now. No,
right now. Dude,
yeah,
normally we cut people off after like half an hour, but I'm having such a great conversation. You know.
Yeah.
Absolutely loving it.
Sure.
I'm even going to be the one to call a break on my part.
Oh, time for Fat Man to go pee-pee.
Oh, I've got to stand up. This chair really kills my back.
Yeah. And I actually I should probably get going. I have to do a couple things.
Yeah, man.
I do have to get back to work and I have to poop. So.
Well, perfect. I do thank you so much for being here, man. We're going to put this up on YouTube for anybody who wants to check it out later. Thanks again, dude. I really appreciate it, man.
No, thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun. It was great talking to you guys.
Absolutely.
So, all right, man. You guys have a good one. I will see you all later.
Yo, see you later, man.
Peace.
God, what a cool dude. What a cool fucking dude. Oh my gosh. Yo, Angry Iceberg, guys. If you're not following him, you should do that. I think I have a shout out command. Angry Iceberg. There you go. There you go. Go check him out. So, dude, really good guy. Super smart. He's definitely got his ducks in a row. We're super lucky to have people like that on the show. If you guys would like to have a chance to come on the show with us, please let us know. Reach out to us. Tell us. We want you here. We want you to be a part of the conversation. Really do as much as we can. You know, to get more stuff happening back and forth. You know, we're almost looking at this. Just looking at who's in chat right now, like everyone's streamers. You know, like we're not here to like, you know, try and like grab viewers and whatnot, like because we're trying to grow our channels. That's not what we're doing this for. What we're doing this for is because we want to create an open dialogue, an open conversation between streamers to figure out, you know, what works, what doesn't work, what's happening, you know, things we'll talk about. We've got all these topics listed down at the bottom of the page, and it's like, you know, we just want to be able to connect with people and have conversations and, you know, learn and grow and, you know, use each other's experiences to help that happen. So, you know, Angry Iceberg is a great dude. He's an amazing streamer, and we're very lucky to have him on the show. If you guys want your chance to be on the show, just let us know. You know, hit us up in our Discord. Let's see. I think that's it. Nope. That's probably it. There it is. Hit us up on our Discord. Join in. Let us know that you want to join us for anything. You know, even if you just have a suggestion for a show topic. You know, we have lots of places there for you guys to interact and really become part of the show. So thank you again for sticking around. Thank you again for being part of it. And we're not gonna end just yet. We're not calling it a day just yet. I think Fat Man is just taking a pee-pee or something, probably stretching it out. He said. I really enjoy this. Dude, thanks, Corso. Appreciate it, man. Every time I watch Double Trouble, it feels like I need to get back into it. Dude, that would be great, man. You know, like, I would love to, you know, be able to inspire anyone to follow their dream and to, you know, do whatever they can to move forward. Regardless of how much time you have to put into it, if you're consistent, you know, once a week even, just consistent, you know, that's a great start. That's a really great start. So Fat Man's changing out of his onesie. You might be right. You might be right. Had to make PPs. But yeah, you know, like there's a let's see, I don't think we have a guest for next week, so we've got, you know, any Wednesday between now and whenever. If you guys want to jump in, if you've been on already and you want to be on again, let us know. We can have some repeats.
There we go.
Yo, Fat Man's back. Fine.
Sorry, I had to stretch. Whew.
Yeah, man. Angry Iceberg.
Okay.
You got the job. Congrats, Rippin'. Fucking
GG.
awesome. Let's did you wash your hands?
Yes. I didn't even go pee. I just had to get up a stretch.
I'm gonna hype up some chat for Rippin' because that's fantastic, dude.
Oh.
Really awesome.
Fuck yeah, it is.
When your schedule get better, you're gonna be on the show. Awesome.
Awesome.
Perfect. We would love to have you, man. Absolutely love to have you.
That's what I miss.
So, strangely enough, most of our topics we discussed with the guest. That's awesome. That's really, like, I think we missed out on the G Fuel thing as far as going into detail about it. So it's like so many people are like, oh, G Fuel has lead in it, and blah, you know, I'm gonna die, and blah blah blah. And it's like, you really should look more. You should look more into it.
Yeah.
It's a dab emote. Yeah, that's Damn It to Hell, right?
No, that's Tatman.
Oh, that's Tim and Tatman. Sorry, Tim and Tatman. The reason why it even became any kind of a thing at all is because California changed the way that they're labeling their food products, and one of them is the fact that what was it? 0.5% lead. Is that right, Fat Man? 0.5%. I'm gonna check.
Maybe.
I made a note.
I've got a.
There it is. So
look.
basically, and this is directly from Twitter that I found. G Fuel is made with naturally occurring vitamins and minerals, which absorb lead through soil, like all natural vitamin, minerals, fruits, and vegetables that are actually grown in soil. It is well below the FDA limits. Right now, the FDA requires a warning for any product that causes an exposure of 0.5 micrograms of lead per day. Mm-hmm. The actual FDA limit for lead is 75.0 micrograms for adults and 6.0 micrograms for children. So what it comes down to is, like, it was a sensationalist headline. Someone had to go and say something and turn it into this big fucking deal. But really what it comes down to, there's a minuscule amount. And they just have to, because of the new California law, they have to label it differently.
Yep. And they got a lawsuit because of it.
They're not trying to poison you, I promise.
Yeah.
Promise. Not trying to poison you. It's so easy in this social media driven kind of a world right now where if someone says something, and there's a little bit of fact in it, you know, people blow it up, turn it into this huge thing. And sorry guys, I don't drink G Fuel personally, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Fake news, exactly, Rippin'. Fake news. You guys know.
Rogue
G Fuel
code FATS
is good for you. Use code FATS when you check out for 10% off. Wow, man, great show, dude. I feel like we should just kick Fat Man off the show and have Angry Iceberg as our host. You know,
I feel like we should just kick us both off the show.
Let's just only watch Iceberg's podcast from now on.
Charlie,
Charlie, write it down.
Your new boss.
New boss. Write it down, Charlie. Real fake news. But yeah, guys, thanks again for water. You guys ripping the kitchen sink. See, I'm sponsored by water as well, but my code is TAP.
Filter.
Let's see. 0 lead in my PP, a no lead in my pencil. Uh-oh.
Ooh.
If you want to go that route, don't eat bananas because they're radioactive. Yeah, totally. Yeah. If FATS doesn't work, can Fatman personally refund the 10%? He absolutely will, yes. If your G Fuel doesn't fuel your G, then he will refund you that 10%, absolutely. Mountain Dew doesn't kill sperm. I have 3 children. See, it's not about killing sperm, it's reducing your sperm count. So, that's another thing, is like, you know, it's easy for people widely enough to say, yo, Mountain Dew kills semen, but it's like, only like it doesn't actually kill your semen. It just reduces the amount that your body produces, which is not that big deal. What if they're not your kids? Do they look like the postman? Mary. Oh boy. Once again, guys, we're in the Q&A session. If you want to ask some questions, we are ready for it. Any of the topics you see scrolling, let's any of the topics you see scrolling through your PC right now, you want to talk about, you want to discuss, please let us know. We can jump back into them. Well, I feel like we did a really good job of addressing all
there was one question that was put in the suggestion box, if you want to cover that.
Okay, suggestion box, question box. When does trolling become too much, and when do you decide to put your foot down? We've talked about trolls before, haven't we?
Yep.
Here's the thing: whatever you allow to happen in your chat is going to replicate itself. If you're the kind of streamer where you're like, oh, you know, say what you want, do what you want, and I'm not going to stop you, then you are allowing, you know, kind of a free reign.
Yep.
So if there is an incident where someone crosses the line, and you're live, you're streaming while it happens, your best bet is to have a decent mod there who's able to say and, you know, identify the issue and, you know, make a quick private whisper and like, yo, get your shit together. Of course, if you don't have a good mod and it's up to you to kind of police that, then I would say your best bet is to nip that shit right in the bud the first time. And don't let it turn into anything else. Yep. Don't let it become a major issue.
Yep.
I know that especially people who are like kind of new, that have like a smaller community,
getting started and everything else. Yeah,
they want to, you know, retain as many viewers as you can, but you don't want to keep people who are assholes. So you kind of got to like judge whether or not this is the kind of thing you want to have happen in your chat regularly. If it is something you want to have happen in your chat regularly, if you're the kind of person who just loves to like lean into your trolls and, you know, troll them back, then that's totally fine.
Yep.
How would you answer that from a viewer perspective when the trolling is getting out of hand? So L360, you're saying that if you're sitting in chat and someone is causing an issue, and as a viewer, like, what do you do? Is that what you're asking? Is that what it looks like, Fatman?
I think so. I mean, for that, I would bring it to like the streamer's attention.
Yeah, you know, do a quick whisper to one of the mods maybe, and be like, "Yo, this is causing an issue. You know, I don't want to hang out here if this guy's going to continually talk about his wiener."
That's what I get all the time when bacon talks.
Or yeah, like Valor says, you can easily take care of that yourself by just clicking on their name and saying bye-bye. And then you don't have to worry about seeing it ever again, and it doesn't cause any sort of, you know, upheaval in the streamer's chat.
Yep.
So there's definitely ways to deal with it. I think if it's a regular constant. See, but here's the thing, 360. As a mod, you want to follow your streamer's guidelines. So if there is something, even if they are a regular viewer, even if they are a subscriber, if there's someone in there who's changing the mood of chat and regularly, continually bringing shit down, I would say something to the streamer first, but I would not feel bad about banning someone who needs to be banned. You know? Yeah, you've got to make sure that you are following the guidelines of the streamer that you're modding for. but also
you know, bring it to their attention also.
Yeah, just make sure you have an open avenue of communication.
Yep.
In line with the streamer's views. So like for instance, you know, any of the guys who are modding for me today, if someone comes in here with racist or sexist or, you know, any sort of terrible hate speech bullshit, they don't even get a chance to say anything after the first time.
It's just like a ban.
Yeah, my mods will ban them right away without even me worrying about it. And that's totally fine. Like, that's exactly what I want them to do.
Yep.
You know? People in streams I mod that bug the shit out of me. But I have to leave them be. I mean, yeah. You know? Banned. Exactly. You can get banned. You know, there's a right way to do it, and if you're modding for somebody, then make sure that you're following the streamer's views, but, you know, also, like, don't put up with any shit. You know, if it's something that's an obvious problem, fucking deal with it. Hate speech? I fucking hate pine cones. There's your hate speech. That's, you know, pine cones, it doesn't come into the channel when it's on my on my week, so that's totally fine.
He was actually talking.
I know. This dude just said the dumbest shit, and I gotta leave him alone. Coming from you, Valor, someone else is saying dumb shit, and you think it's dumb shit. Like, that's probably some pretty dumb shit.
Yeah.
Pine cones, next week's topic. It'll be Fat Man's channel, so we might actually get a pine cones there.
Killicon on that one.
Yeah. So, I think we had a really good stream today, man. I'm very happy with it. If Valor thinks you're saying dumb shit, like, you're like way beyond the line of normal dumb shit.
I don't know why the fuck I'm yawning here.
I think I know why. Because
I slept last night. That's the thing.
You slept at the wrong time. That's what happened.
Did you
Family of Guardians?
Did you see my message?
No, you messaged me
in streamer chat.
Oh, yes.
We playing DJ Turn It Up?
Yes.
Are you really? Are you playing DJ Turn It Up?
Am I? Is Monster Cat playing it?
No. I don't think so.
It says it's Hellberg, back to you.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, dude, that's a great raid target. So we're gonna go ahead and call it a day. Did I see the waffles? I will check them out when I'm off stream, Valor. Right now, though, we're gonna bring you guys to one of our good friends here. His name is Flake of Wrath. Please come with us to do this awesome Dub Trub raid. Just type in Dub Trub raid. Yeah, there you go. Got some bombs in there if you'd like. You can drop some dillies. Very, 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 very cool dude. Oh yeah. That's how it usually is. Just want to give you guys a link there if you want to go there on your own. But we are going to go ahead and host up Flake of Wrath. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We do this every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern.
Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern.
If you are a streamer or anyone else who wants to be a part of the show, please let us know in our Discord. We would love to have you on. We are looking for anyone. I think we have open availability right now, right? We don't have anybody scheduled. Oh no, we have Fat Jolly Guy next week, don't we?
Yeah.
Fat Jolly Guy next week, and then after that, it's open. So if you guys are wanting to be on the show,
next after that,
Luda's scheduled for that one too.
It shows Luda the 21st.
Fantastic.
Unless there's something different.
We have more people than I thought, even. So, do you want to interview me? No, definitely not.
No, negative.
Hard pass. Hard pass. I'm gonna go ahead and pop that up there. So, once again, guys, we do have a YouTube channel. You can hit us up on YouTube. We're gonna be loading this episode up to the YouTube after the show today.
Yep.
We do that every week.
We're still on our search for 100 subscribers on there.
That's right. That's right. We also have a Discord. You can join us on our Discord. Would love to have you guys there, making some fun, awesome Discord nonsense. I can say so much awesome dumb shit though. Well, I've got Fat Man for that.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
There it is, the DT Discord. That's where you'll find us. We're gonna go ahead and set up this host that has to set up this raid. You guys come with us for this Dub Trub raid, and we're gonna call it a day. Thanks again.
Thanks again.
Countdown has begun.
Oh man, get in
Countdown
here. Countdown
has begun.
Let's do it.
Let's do this.
There we go. There, right there. There. On.
Y'all birdie.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Woo.
Bye.
I'm not there.
Sorry.
There.
Wait, Fat Man. Oh, okay. Now it's done.